welcome to the Stache Club Wrestling Podcast presented by FanDuel After Mania. Folks, my name is John.
My name is Jimmy.
Whoa, what a week. What a weekend. Jimmy, we have a lot to talk about. Obviously, folks, today we are covering Night 1 and Night 2 of Mania. We're talking Raw after. Everything else that's been going on. Thank you for being here, everyone. Jimmy, how you feeling after this weekend? We'll get into some thank yous and plugs and whatever, and we'll just dive in. How we feeling? Oh yeah, we do have some business. Go ahead.
I feel vindicated, my friend. Not only did my favorite Cody Rhodes retain the WWE Championship, but I also continued my run at WrestleMania on the Stache Club Wrestling program here. I'm 2-0, and of course, you're new predictions
Fair.
champion. I do have a shout out to the Stache Club faithful, to the chat. They were so much fun this weekend, and also, of course, they also were very good sports of letting me.
They were defending champions, what they were.
Very defending
fighting
champions,
I would say.
Sure. But I will defend myself and say my predictions were made on Tuesday. Theirs were made the night of as we were going. I didn't know Paige was coming back.
Can't give him any credit, huh? Can't give him any credit.
I'm the genuine article. I call it how it is. You know how it is.
Just like CM Punk last night came out there and he said, "But I'm still the best. But I still won. But I won in my heart.
Tell you what, I was crying, man. He was mentioning those folks that we lost. His
I know it's a
his
good
jacket.
promo.
I was tears on stream, unfortunately, really embarrassing. But I'm comfortable in my masculinity. I can cry.
Well, folks, we have a lot to dive into. Kind of like Jimmy was alluding to here. I want to give a big thank you to you watching. Thank you for just a successful week and weekend in terms of Mania content. It's the first time we were posting like live clips on our social medias. Everything was going crazy, and obviously also thank you to everyone. The biggest thank you to everyone that was in the stream. Again, you all made it such a successful weekend in terms of the stream. We had so much fun cracking some beers on Saturday. And yeah, I had a ball. And like a lot of this Mania, especially Night 1, a lot of the chatter was like, oh, this Mania sucks. And Night 1 was boring as hell. But we were on stream, just chatting, hanging out with each other, and then obviously with everyone, the 500 to 600 people in the chat the whole time. So like, I came away from Mania Night 1 being like, sure, I didn't think it was like an all-timer, but I was like, fun night. And then seeing everyone being like, this sucks. So, thank everyone for making it, such a enjoyable experience. And can't thank everyone enough. Just a successful and great weekend. And and I'll tell you what, the weekend following, or preceding, I should say, I was running on all cylinders. I was in flow state with videos on my channel and Stache Club channel. We had the stream, like social media posts. Like I was in flow state, and then once Monday hit, it all caught up to me, and I was just like, whew. I needed it to last one more day for After Mania, and I didn't quite get that. Which I obviously did watch it. But I did watch it very horizontal on the couch. But man, what a weekend! But yeah, I guess we can just dive into everything. Obviously, plugs real quick. Patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling. Head over there for a bonus pod episode. People are asking questions, and we're probably going to do, we'll do some on the fly sort of draft or whatever. It's a good time. It's a chill time over there. Jimmy, any other words before we just really dive into the nitty gritty of WrestleMania 42?
Man, I can't wait to talk about everything that happened. All 13 matches, all the bonus moments. I thought it was a very excellent weekend of wrestling. I truly did.
All 13 matches, all 21 minutes of wrestling.
We'll get to that. No doubt about it. Get to that. That's the glaring issue, right?
Well, let's start out with the main event of the whole weekend. We'll kind of start from basically just like end to beginning or whatever. Roman Reigns defeated CM Punk to become your new world heavyweight champion. I love this match. I'm hearing conversations now about this is one of the best matches WWE's ever put on. This is one of the best Mania main events. I'm not far enough from. I'm not making those comments. I'm too far removed from it. I'm not saying anything outlandish here. What I will say, it's one of the best WrestleMania main events I've seen, and I thought it was awesome. I loved this match. How do you feel about this match? I know on stream we're both just like, this is sick, and we're I think we were both definitely showing our admiration for it. But yeah, how do we feel about this result?
Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, WrestleMania 25, eat your heart out, man. No, this was a very excellent match, but I will preference with all this discussion today on this wonderful podcast we hear, I've only watched both nights one time with you on that couch with the chat. So, a lot of my viewings, commentary is something that was kind of missing for me for Mania just because of the stream and the crowd. So you don't hear the crowd as much during stream. So that all plays in a factor. And those actually, so I hear some of the more negative things about Mania, but again, for me personally, negated by the stream. But regardless, CM Punk versus Roman Reigns was stuff of magic, man. It really restored the feeling of WrestleMania. Because one thing I mentioned to you during it, and I was trying to find the words for it, was like, as someone that really enjoyed both nights of WrestleMania, I truly did. But I did feel like there was like the WrestleMania magic missing a bit. And
I agree.
In Ariel Helwani, who he's a big MMA guy and he's big wig in the media game, he used the term soulless, which I thought was a bit cruel. But I can somewhat see where people are saying, especially with like, the main complaints being advertising and stuff like that. But I'll tell you what, I wasn't thinking about that stuff during this match, man. This match was something special. Even taken into the entrances, which is a huge part of WrestleMania. Roman Reigns, the family honoring stuff, took
really cool.
Took forever, of course. But then the probably one of the best entrances of the weekend. CM
Talked
Punk.
by only, I always mispronounce it, Mysterio Canter.
Me too. I do. I've struggled with many words, but those are words I struggle with too. But
so cool.
The Ring of Honor, entrance throwback, beautiful.
I love that he's seemingly keeping at least that part where he like comes out to silence, does the clobbering time, needle drop. I really like it.
I'm gonna need it to grow on me because I'm very partial to the music already blaring.
But
he's definitely doing something to switch it up, which I don't mind. But yeah, that was really special. The match itself, though, a banger.
Yeah, I definitely have my which maybe we'll get into a little later because we kind of just dove into matches. But I definitely have my
general outlook.
Yeah, or like I call it preservations or reservations, whatever you want to call it. About Mania in terms of, again, like I wouldn't say as extreme as Ariel, but again, like, and so the biggest thing about night one, I saw people joking about just like, damn, there's too much wrestling getting in the way of my Hulk Hogan documentary ads. And so like, again, we're on stream during the commercials, we're chatting, we're posting stuff. So like, we don't see as much of that, but I mean, I'm always on here talking about how much I don't like the ads and how ugly, or uglier the presentation overall of the WWE product has gotten because of like the ads and whatever.
Saturday was the beer day for us, and I gotta tell you, I didn't notice one Hulk Hogan ad Saturday, which like is, I know, a bizarre statement because apparently that was like way too much Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
I think Michael Cole was kind of getting made fun of because he was like, oh, unfortunately, this is the first WrestleMania without Hulk Hogan's presence. Brother, Hulk Hogan was everywhere apparently, but night one I didn't notice it too much.
Yeah, and like I would agree. I haven't fully collected my thoughts in general about the WrestleMania as a whole, but definitely leaving night one did not feel like Mania. Which we'll definitely get into it later if we, to kind of like before we get deeper into Punk and Reigns. I guess we kind of skipped over giving like a general thought, I guess.
Oh, I got more.
But as someone who is going to defend the Cody Orton match. Leaving night one, I would say it definitely was a lower tier sort of Mania. Night two definitely helps. As we know, night two is it's always the better, more stacked show. And we're kind of on the same page. This is we consider the two nights one show.
Yes.
So night one is one half. Night two is the second half, and they are like in terms of events, like they are separate shows, obviously, because they don't have it at the same time.
And of course, our classic argument of possibly being in the wrong, but night two definitely feels like the real main event. I don't know.
Well, it is. And
Cameron did no favors for night one either, too.
I loved Roman. I loved Roman dissing Cameron.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
But yeah, I'd say overall, I had fun from a very personal bias standpoint. I definitely wouldn't put this Mania in a top 10 conversation.
I said top 15, top 20-ish.
Yeah,
but it's hard to just
It's hard to say. Yeah, it's hard to do that. But that's more of a conversation than 10, I think for sure. But ultimately, I thought it was just fine. Which WrestleMania shouldn't really come from WrestleMania being passable. But I don't know.
I got letter grades for kind of each night, and also what what I think makes WrestleMania special. So maybe we can talk about that after we
Sure.
get more into Roman Punk.
Yeah,
because that was
because I do
spoilers match of the week.
match of the week 1,000,000%. This was awesome. Really like the second Punk came up bloody. It just took like a whole nother level. And there's controversy, the biggest controversial spot, which like not to go into a negative right away, because there's so much pause about this match.
No, I'm happy you're starting here.
But
as someone that was rooting for CM Punk,
the Roman Reigns did pick up the steel steps. There's a lot of conversation around this.
Yes.
I've just kind of let it like pass me. But I don't super care personally,
yes.
but I fully appreciate people caring. I love when people care. Which I think I'll pass it to you in a second, because like I think you have way more to say about it. But a lot of the sides have been like, one, it's a steel steps. He hit him with the steel steps. It's a disqualification. He did it right in front of the ref. Then the other side is like, well, it's ref's discretion. Then I saw something like, which I don't know where this came from, of like, well, it's a WrestleMania main event. There's no DQ, or it's a world title match. There's no DQ. I don't know where all that came from, but I'm just pointing out all the
every
different...
Roman Reigns match bloodline rules.
Automatically, I guess so.
I'm in two minds about it with this thing. Obviously, I was rooting for CM Punk in that match, just in a kind of a kayfabe fun, like that's my guy over Roman Reigns. I love both men, but I was rooting for CM Punk with the story. So seeing my guy get hit with a weapon, which is a disqualification, I'm a bit up in arms about it. I'm going to be theatrical and be like, what the hell? That's my boy. But actually, realistically, I like referee Rod Zapata, which I believe is his name. Very good referee. I think there is beauty in the sense of like, oh yes, this is the WrestleMania main event. Do I really want to cost myself my job right now entering this WrestleMania main event after like what 5 minutes for a DQ and CM Punk retains? So there is some realism there, but I'd like it to maybe be put over on commentary. Maybe it was. I didn't have much commentary during the stream, but for sure also just like you can't do that, and of course referee discretion, which is a known thing. So
I think it would have been way less of a conversation if they just had the ref not look. Like if they just had the ref, I don't know what they would do, but similar to how Punk kind of ended up getting that one back later with the low blow, but Punk threw his tape on the ground, the ref picked it up, and the ref wasn't looking, hit him with the low blow.
That affected that spot for me, which I love the tape spot tremendously, but like the fact that Punk felt the need to, which I love the tape spot. It's genius. But the fact that he felt the need to hide the low blow after, hey man,
made the steps worse.
Yes,
is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah, like I personally am not paying it too much mind. I'm just kind of like whatever. But like I said, I fully agree and appreciate people being like, hey, what the hell? Because it makes sense. There should be, as crazy as it is to say, like there should be some logic in professional wrestling, as wacky and silly as it is.
I'm a stickler for the rules.
Yeah, I think it's like, I think I mentioned it before. It's like playing GTA and stopping at the red lights. Sometimes that's fun. It's fun. But yeah, so past that, really just jump ahead. The storytelling here, I loved this ending with CM Punk. I mean, first of all, I think they were trying to hit each other with like each other's finishers. Which I know, or they were trying. I don't believe they hit their finishers. So my immediate critique was like, well, in night one main event, they were hitting each other with each other's finishers. So I like they like kind of went for it, but then we got CM Punk hits Roman toward the end with a GTS. Roman does fall into it, which like I didn't think that looked that good. I like the idea so much of the Punk's like on his knees and a guy just like falls on it. I think it's so hard to make it look good. I think Seth has done an okay job, but
I think Moxley had a good one in AEW one time.
I think so too.
When they faced.
And this is me just being like nitpicky because like I ultimately liked it, but like I did see it happen and I was like, well, that didn't look that great. But again, there's way more
him falling on Punk.
Yeah, he hit the ropes, and he didn't really bounce off. He kind of like stayed at the ropes, and then I think like realized he needed to get back to Punk, and kind of bounced off. Basically took 2 steps, and then just fell over, which suspension of disbelief.
Sure.
And then Punk picked him up for a second one, and then you really called it better than I did in the moment of Punk just collapsing under Roman Reigns' weight, as if almost to say like, because at this point they've been to war, dude, and as if to say like, maybe his age is catching up with him. You know, maybe Roman was right. Roman hits the spear, hits the super spear. 1, 2, 3, Roman new champ. This final, and then even something I skipped over, after the first spear, Punk still fighting, and I loved Punk just like one last, just like that was the last bit of like reserved fuel he had in him, using that last bit of, like I said, fuel to do that.
You can believe that his insides have internal bleeding from that spear still. But
yeah,
just the last gasp.
Yeah, just an awesome match and a spectacle, and it's like, I've saw obviously a lot of criticisms over this whole Mania weekend. The matches have been too short, which I agree with. That's like my biggest problem with the matches have been too short. A lot of matches haven't felt like or been allowed to like get to that next gear, and then you get to this main event. And it's all, and my biggest thing is like this was a Roman Reigns wrestling match. I saw a lot of people even calling out like, well, Roman Reigns is even like hitting chops. When do you see Roman Reigns like chop? This was a Roman Reigns wrestling main event with no shenanigans. Obviously, you know, we got the table spot and a low blow, but like no outside interference, no potential DQ or whatever. We got a clean finish and a straight up winner and loser. And a lot of it's just like, see, if you just give wrestling fans a beautiful wrestling match, we're gonna like it. You don't need to like give us a Pat McAfee or whatever, because this main event at the end here was beautiful and purely wrestling focused. And it's like, you just give us that, and it's like, that's the best. Everyone's takeaway is like, that was the best part of the weekend. You know what I mean? What's this?
You can do both. You can have. That's why you have 2 nights, my friend.
We would like to take a break in the episode to tell you about our sponsor today, FanDuel. Right now, new FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get $250 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. That's right, turn $5 into $250 in bonus bets just for getting started. And when every possession matters in the playoffs, FanDuel makes it easy to get closer to the action. From player props and your favorite stars to all the tools you need to back them up, FanDuel puts player research right at your fingertips. You can check stats, trends, and matchups all in one place and make your picks with confidence. It's everything you need all in one app, so don't miss your shot. Head to FanDuel.com/believe to get started. FanDuel, play your game. 21 plus select states. For Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, 18 plus DC, Kentucky, Wyoming. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-MY-RESET. Call 1-888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org. Call 800-327-5050 Massachusetts. Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. Text HOPE-NY New York. Call 1-877-770-7867 Louisiana. Thank you to FanDuel for sponsoring today's episode. Now back to the show. Speak on that.
Well, Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton, I thought was awesome. Even the BS celebrity stuff, which I thought, you know, I'm very much anti-Jelly Roll. I liked Pat McAfee's heel manager role for Randy Orton as a Cody Rhodes QB1 crybaby. I really was, you know, liking the fact that we had the forward thinkingness of like, oh, Randy Orton's not going to get booed. We got to have a heel manager, and it all played out. Night one's main event really felt Attitude Era-esque, and whoa, yes,
That's a take.
Well, with the shenanigans, and then of course the blood and Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton really delivering, and it was. I thought both. I saw some people say like, "Hey, am I such a bad guy for liking night one main event over night two?"
That's crazy.
It's a bit crazy. I will say that.
Here's my take. It's like I walked away from night one. I'm still defending because I'm with you. Maybe less on the Pat stuff, but I'm with you on the. I liked the main event of night one. I thought they told a good story about. As we kind of transition to Cody Orton, I thought they told a good story. I lost my train of thought. I'll get back to that. I came out of night one being like, that was pretty good. Because I think the rest of night one, I'll say it, sucked. I think the rest of night one really sucked. The main event, I was like, okay, decent. Then I saw the main event of night two, and I would almost say that Cody Orton kind of stunk. Compared to the night two main event,
no, I disagree.
Brother.
No.
And I'm being a little hyperbolic.
I think the main event of night one ultimately saved night one and really brought us together. And I thought there was some definitely good things by night one, but we'll get there. There's so much to talk
about. My point is from the Roman and CM Punk stuff.
Yeah.
Is like my sentiment is that, and sure, you can do both and have like the celebrity stuff, but like ultimately, if you go to the Pat stuff, they backtracked. Orton RKO'd Pat and Pat's out. So it's like, yeah, you can have both, but even WWE is telling you, hey, we messed up and this was bad. You know what I mean? And like, by all means, like, you know, everyone's allowed to like what they like. I'm not trying to combat you in terms like, no, you shouldn't like the Pat stuff. Because ultimately, I think Pat has played the dude, which I didn't tweet this out. I should have. I'm giving Pat credit here because he was at a fucking whatever the hockey game was last night working. He had a neck brace and everything. So you're right in the sense that there can be like balance and
felt chaotic night one, the main event. It truly did.
Yeah.
And ultimately, we left night one. And I think if it wasn't for Pat McAfee, if we had a Cody Rhodes retaining, Cody Rhodes' stock would be plummeting right now. But because of Pat McAfee's involvement, we're looking at Cody Rhodes as kind of like that was actually ruling. And he also, you know, left that match in a heap of his own blood and legitimately the scars to tell the story. And I thought it added a lot to.
See, I don't know how much I think Pat like played into Cody getting cheered because like I said, like Randy took out Pat at the end. And just kind of like, you know, so that's how I was getting the whole story, which this has been controversial too. And I'm curious how you think about it now, removed. The whole quote unquote quadruple heel and face turn. Are you still, because I'm still on, like, I know people have been like, that's not what happened. They weren't turning face and heel, whatever. I'm still on the camp of like, maybe not to like as extreme, like 100% face, 100% heel, but like,
within
Cody
the match standards.
Yeah. Cody was leaning to heel stuff for sure.
And it's something that played off their first match, well, not their first match, but their match at King of the Ring, where like Cody was targeting very much so in a heelish way Randy Orton's back. He was using the ring post to hurt his friend Randy Orton's back. So as one criticism, I was talking to a casual friend of mine, Jack, this weekend about Cody Rhodes. Is like, man, like it's not even like I want Cody to turn heel. I want him to just stop whining about his dead dad and just be more aggressive. Which like
God forbid a guy is sad about his dead father.
Well, absolutely. But I fought back with him saying, no, Cody has been showing more aggression and more of just like not your typical, you know, white meat babyface all the way through. Like Cody's character to me has been very much not your cookie cutter babyface all the way through. He is his own man. I like him so much, so I am biased in a lot of ways. I've been talking about night one main event, but I thought it all really worked out well to me. It really created an element of chaos, and then like even within the match itself, where it's like him showing that aggressive side, I think got the live crowd behind him. And then, of course, with like the McAfee of it, I think did kind of in a way reverse psychology the fans in attendance and all around the world, where that heat added to that match, and I'll stand by that.
Well, for sure, yeah, more so what I agree that in the sense of Pat was a part of some of the face and heel turn stuff, so like it ultimately like I guess helped, but like so to break down the what we're calling the heel and face stuff. We got obviously kind of so to lay it put it more clearly, and we've been talking about this for like weeks. Obviously, Randy.
I know I'm a little sad. I had a little bit more on Punk and Reigns, but
we can go back.
Cool.
We did. I mean, we kind of. I don't know how we kind of got here, but we can go back. But to wrap this up and then go back, because you're right. Punk and Reigns was like so good. I could definitely talk more about that.
Hell yeah.
But while we're here, leading into this match, we had Cody and Randy coming in. Obviously, it's the Vegas crowd, so like a lot of people are a little critical about like, oh, it's less like hardcore people, and people are just gonna cheer Randy because he's the nostalgia. He's not a nostalgia act, but he's the you're nostalgic for Randy Orton, right? And then a lot of people have been kind of sick of Cody, and even during this match, I would say entrances and whatever, Cody was getting majority boos, Randy was getting majority cheers. And obviously the whole inclusion of Pat for the past weeks have been trying to get Randy to be booed. And then throughout this match, Cody's really starting to get booed, and he starts to lean into it. He puts a finger to his ear. There's one moment he's kind of just basking in the boos. So, and again, say what you will about like, that's not a full heel's turn, but for the metaphor of this match, that places, if we're trying to put each other on each other's side, if Cody's leaning to the heel of it all, let's call him a heel in that moment. Okay, now Randy is being cheered. Call him the face, right? That was the first instance of it. Then you get a low blow somewhere. It was Cody low blowed Randy, right?
Yes.
Cody low blowed Randy, kind of just reinstilling like heel tactic. Randy then gets poked in the eye by Cody, which I definitely want to pause here. Randy gets poked in the eye by Cody, and he's like, whoa, RKO's Charles Robinson. One, to me, RKO and Lil Nate, brother.
Crazy.
Big heel moment.
Yeah.
So now switch them. Cody face, Randy heel again. And also, to pause here as I'm going down this track, this, to me, people have been saying, like, no, that wasn't like a Randy heel move. Randy got poked in the eye. He was blinded. And then RKO'd Charles because he was, like, disoriented and blinded. I'm calling BS.
I'm almost thinking like too. It's like it's not even more definitively like face heel turns within that moment too. It's like Randy Orton is a tweener, and even when he did RKO Pat, I was even kind of talking to you about it. It's like kind of similar to like Stone Cold back in the day, just being frustrated with someone that was supposed to help him. You know, the slow count from Pat. Not to get ahead of ourselves, but it's just Randy Orton voices beat by his own drum, kind of, I think, a bit strategic to RKO Charles because the match was getting away from him a little bit.
That's what, so I think...
And to spawn Pat, perhaps.
I think that's exactly it. I think it was a, and for the metaphor, I'm calling it like, because I'm trying, doing the heel. For metaphor, I'm calling it the heel turn.
And like how the crowd reacts to these moments too.
Yeah, but... So I think that when I think it came off, I'm not trying to. I think a lot of this is subjective and think what you want, but I think that was the point of Randy won everyone, and I think he successfully did it, judging by everyone's, or a lot of people's view on it. He got poked in the eye by Cody, and he was like, saw the opportunity as an excuse to arcade, because it doesn't make sense if Cody's right in front of him, he pokes him in the eye.
He couldn't be that dizzy.
He takes one step backwards. Yeah. He looked at Charles. He obviously it's wrestling, like I get it, but he looked at Charles and RKO'd him.
You want to talk about another DQ too?
Sure. But then he RKO'd Charles, which to the point of then I think that was the big plan of like, okay, take out Charles. Max is getting away from him. Pat McAfee comes running down in the referee jersey, whatever. Because to me, again, to go to what you were saying, then Pat goes in, which I'm just calling that a regular count. I don't know if that was a slow count. I think that was just a regular count. But
he had a little hesitation at one point, but he also has a broken neck.
He's got a broken neck.
He's also a stoner. He also just ran 2 football fields.
He doesn't know how to be a referee.
Yeah, so I was a little like eye rolling to the people criticizing the fast count, even though I did say right away during the stream, like, how can we do a fast count?
But I do agree that if I was Randy Orton, I would be expecting the fast count.
Yes.
So Randy was pissed that Pat didn't get the pin for him, and then RKO's Pat, which again, if we're really just talking in the metaphor again, brings Randy back to a face because he's RKOing the biggest bad guy, whatever. And then to close it out, Cody takes advantage of the situation, crossroads, bada bing, bada boom. And then Cody wins. The crowd, at least from what I heard, the crowd cheered.
Well, I saw a lot of people throwing babies in the sky.
Crowd cheered.
And I was going nuts too. So
And then Randy solidifies him back in the heel persona with taking out which you got to talk about Cody's eye, dude. Clocking Cody with the title, hitting the punt, which again to me brings Randy back to whatever. And again, this is all speaking in metaphorical stuff and of the match. And then ending the night, which yes, there were a couple of people that I heard of being like, one more time. But I think the majority of people were booing and playing into like, hey, you just punted Cody and like long-winded, but I just wanted to kind of like explain that, like how but the point of all of that was I thought it was very cool how they played with like both of them doing heel and face stuff and played with like them switching roles and being a little bit in the different roles. I don't know if I might have over-explained all that, but and it was cool. And then again, to your point, Pat played the big role of being the biggest heel. Obviously, you side with Randy to make the team of Randy and Pat a heel, but like the biggest heel in all of this was the Pat McAfee of it all. So that played, enough into it. I kind of lost my train a little bit.
The Golden Boy retains.
Cody won.
I love the gear too, and I think he is kind of playing. I was interesting. It's like he is increasingly getting into that role of like where John Cena was. Where it's like I was watching the other day, best of Raw after Mania moments, and I forget, man, how annoying that crowd was when Cena was post WrestleMania 28 when Brock interrupts him. The entire crowd's like chanting "F you, Cena," and they know Brock's coming, so they're like, "We want Brock, we want Brock," and it just reminded me of like how annoying some of these some wrestling crowds are to be honest, especially the richer ones. But Cody's in this point where now he knows he's the golden boy. It's fun to see him kind of act bad, and he have him be
blood in his hair looked good,
and like even to I thought his entrance was phenomenal. The callbacks to different
really
times
cool
in his career, the undashing stuff, which maybe he should probably bring back now because that eye's a shiner. And even too, which like I like McAfee as a heel, and I think he's very effective at getting heat. And he made me boo Randy Orton. I've been very outspoken about how much I don't like Jelly Roll. I will say though that table spot was pretty freaking sick, and like he's such a big dude,
elbow.
and like the wood breaking really was effective.
Yeah,
and I was reminded too of like how I think both our thoughts heading into SummerSlam, the most recent one, where it was Jelly Roll and Orton versus McIntyre and Logan Paul. We were just like, oh, this is gonna probably suck, whatever. I think we both walked away from like that was kind of fun. So like I know I'm not trying to just WWE hire me, this and that, but like the celebrity stuff, ultimately for that is during the match, it wasn't that bad. They took care of it, and they played into the story afterward towards the end, and I thought it made it for a chaotic feel. That's why I was kind of calling it Attitude Era, because ironically too, some people are of the mindset that the Attitude Era, when you put a magnifying glass to it, actually isn't that great. But I had a lot of fun, so who's to say?
But and maybe your opinion, or maybe I read this wrong, has changed. But like in that moment when when Jelly Roll took out Pat, at least I thought our sentiment was kind of like, okay, cool. They did the celebrity stuff. They did it early, and they took him out. So now we can get straight up Cody Randy,
which made us more invested into the match because we were finally getting what we want.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yes.
That goes to my point that I was making with like, you just give us Roman and CM Punk in the wrestling match.
Yes. In
terms of just like, yeah, you give us that wrestling. 'Cause I think I shouldn't speak for both of us, but like, I was pretty happy. Like, okay, they did the silly Jelly Roll stuff, and they, which like, again, the elbow was more than I could do. I'm not trying to take anything away. But I think overall, like, I was pretty happy. Okay, they got out of the way, and now we're getting Randy Cody. Because the video package before was showing all like, I don't know why they didn't do any of this during the other weeks of showing like the history of like Cody and Randy and whatever. And I do ultimately, like, I agree. I think Pat makes a good... And this goes just like the same point I've been making for the past 2 weeks. I think Pat does really make a good, just like Jimmy Hart-esque, like loudmouth, like, whatever. Again, I love like the neck brace at the NHL game.
When he was running down the thing,
you
rat bastard! I was so mad.
Him running down with the referee shirt and the neck brace, I thought was... like I'm gonna say hilarious, but in a good way. Like, it was so like,
I got mad.
It was so like, no way, this fucking guy is right, and that's how it should be. It should be this fucking guy. But I don't know. I forget if I had an overall point there. But I even to just Cody Orton in general.
Good snipe. The Mr. Kennedy
Mr.
callback.
Kennedy spot.
That was pretty cool. Given what I thought one of my favorite wrestlers back in the day would be kind of a little bit shouted out during this match. It adds a little bit to me too. I'll admit that. Also, Mr. Kennedy, what?
I love all weekend too. It was more so a Twitter thing, but like Ted Jr. being in attendance. And him just like taking videos of himself.
You kept posting him with our stuff, which I thought was hilarious.
Dude, insane. I think a lot of people clocked him because he was like watching the video package,
expecting it.
He was like kind of hoping that he would be included.
Very unintentionally funny.
Okay, I think that's kind of all I have to like say about Cody Orton. Winner in general. I'm glad Cody. I really did think Orton was winning.
Mm-hmm.
But I like this decision. Cody winning again. The Randy put out the punt. I think we've been kind of underselling that. We haven't been the only ones underselling it.
Well, when you're actually injured and you believe to be having a concussion, which I think reports are saying he doesn't have a concussion, but that eye and also to the orbital bone isn't broken, so he for the most part I think is okay-ish, even though. You look at last night Monday Night Raw, that eye
insane.
oozing. Immediately people go to makeup, this and that. It's like, dude, whatever. But
even if who cares? That's the point. His eye looks. It's supposed to look gross.
Exactly. But I do get some people like, because again we saw it live on stream. It was post WrestleMania, so usually when the punt is punted by Randy Orton of all people, you do get taken out on the stretcher. And then there was Cody walking behind Jackie Redmond. Given he is so mangled, he's not even strong enough to hold his title. Jessica Carr was behind him holding his title. He was at one point, they didn't show this part, but he was like crawling up the ramp with his bloody soaked hair and whatever. So like, what do people want from Cody, man? Leave Cody alone.
Yeah, like I think we're on the same page of that. It's like, yeah, I do ultimately agree. Like, if everything was perfect, I do think maybe a stretcher would have helped. But like, I think I even said it on stream, but I'll say it on here for the record. I'm also in the camp of like, we saw the pictures of his eye right after, and if it's a matter of just like, hey, like my eye's super fucked up, I have to get back to medical now. I can't I don't want to like spend 10 to 15 minutes getting improperly put on a stretcher by some indie wrestlers or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I need to get back to medical now. So like, for the real life cause, I'm just like, yeah, like do like that. Let's do that.
Plus, think about the children in attendance that were excited to see Cody win, and then ultimately they do an angle post match. Well, for sure, I love. Don't get me wrong, I love seeing children crying, but also to a point of like, okay, this is the end of a show. Do you really want to send these kids home really crying, seeing Cody be carved out? So like, see him get up, whatever. I still think he won't have a match for a little bit, and
I agree.
He can sell the injuries and whatever. But ultimately, I thought this match really was the match of the night, and it was a lot of fun.
Of night one for sure.
Yes, night one. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Do you want to go back to? You said
just
more
a little bit of like the
ahead.
match itself with CM Punk Roman Reigns, where it's like, I really enjoyed a lot of like the camera work, especially during the submissions of like the guillotine and the Anaconda Vice, the table spots, the Shield callback.
Yep.
And this,
he did one like, I forget what it was. Like, there was a really cool. I think, was it the GTS into the guillotine?
Yes.
I think that's what it was.
Yes.
Super sick.
Amazing. And the flurries of the GTSs and Punk's exhaustion. The big insult, the big zinger Roman Reigns had heading into this was, "You're old." And to me, the finish of the match was really much kind of confirming that CM Punk just didn't have enough left in the tank. He ain't as good as he once was, and he couldn't get Roman up for that second one. Double spear, but
spear and a super spear.
Super spear, yes. And then wang bang, see you later. A generational WrestleMania main event.
Awesome.
I think possibly it's tough because Roman, Cody 40 and even 39 was spectacular. I have to watch it again to make sure. I was going to say it's Roman Reigns' best WrestleMania main event, but I'm not even sure it's that. But it was a phenomenal match.
I can confidently say it's at least one of his best matches, period, and one of his best Mania matches, period. But yeah, I would have to go back to especially 40. But I think, I mean, I'm not. Who cares? I'm not saying this. Who am I? I don't think it's crazy to say at all that it's Roman's best Mania match.
It's definitely better than one versus Taker and a few of those against Brock.
Yeah, sure, 100%.
What do you think about? Do you believe the Tribal Chief when he says that he's going to be back on the full-time swing of things?
For a little bit.
Yeah.
I think I could see between now and SummerSlam, which does give us a pretty good amount of time, actually, being fairly full-time. Do I think he's wrestling on every Raw?
Or any matches on Raw?
That's a good question. I hope so.
Give me a 6-man with the Usos where you don't have to work too much. Like, give me a Roman Reigns match on Raw. I think earlier in this year, I was like, one thing I want to see this year is Roman Reigns to have a wrestling match on Raw. And I don't really think we will. But given though, he definitely, of course, adds so much to the shows if he just shows up. Especially as the world champion. We were spoiled having such a generational run from CM Punk. So that was kind of one, quib of like, devastation from some fans of like, oh, now we're going to see the world title twice a year now. And it's like, no, Roman Reigns got on that post-game press conference and was like, hey, I'm going to be here all summer. And then in front of the show, X was like, what about the rest of spring?
With that said, because obviously we also had Raw after Mania last night, and we have so much more to talk about, but we also have to talk about the Punk and Cody of it all on Raw. But while we're at Roman Reigns closed out the show last night, comes out with the world title, and he brings along the Usos with him.
When will those guys learn?
I'm fine. Like, I don't know. I'm not excited about them just going back to like 2021, 2022 Bloodline stuff. Like, I get it that it was like peak, or like, or even like, the lead up to 40.
Yes.
All that time was like the most recent peak that we had. So, like, I don't blame them for being like, hey, let's try to recapture that magic. But
when Paul Heyman said we were in the third inning, he also didn't mention that it's a 9-game series.
Yeah, it is like, I don't know. There's gonna be a conversation eventually, and we'll see what Roman does. But I think we both had Roman winning, but I think the weeks prior we were both like, yeah, the more interesting or the more like meat on the bones come away, whatever, is Punk winning, or Punk retaining.
Yep.
And it doesn't help the cause of WWE where the next night you go right back to Roman having backup with the Usos, doing more like, I acknowledge you tribal chief stuff, especially like, the story that like, I think he has yet to acknowledge or apologize for anything. And like Jay and Jimmy, especially Jay, just kind of falling back in line. And then, so like, it doesn't excite me, but I'm also just like, let's see where it goes. I'm fine with it for now.
And I'm also someone that's like, well, I also, the inverse of that is like Jey Uso being back in the main event picture, which someone that's, kind of half-see on Jey Uso. I'm kind of happy he's back in a tag team.
And Jimmy too, especially for Jimmy.
Yep.
And then, which this part I do really like, Jacob Fatu.
Of course.
Stepping up.
Unexpected.
Yeah, coming out, laying it down on the line. Just being like, hey, like I think he's an underrated, or at least doesn't get talked about enough in terms of his current promo. Jacob Fatu getting on there, just being like, first of all, I want that title, but more so than that title, I want that title brings. I'm all about family, as we all are, but I want to put my kids in better schools. I want to drive better cars. I want that Rolex that's on your hand. Like, I want what you have because I think I deserve it. And also, I know you guys are family, I want to do this for my immediate family. I'm willing to run through my family to get what I want. And I think it's a great, like, sure, again, is it more Bloodline stuff? Sure. But I think it's a great Backlash feud. Like, Backlash is like, it's like May 9th or some shit. It's like not that far away.
Oh, wow.
It's like, I'll double check it in a second, but like, I'm pretty sure Backlash is like not that far away.
That's crazy.
But I think this is a good, just like mini feud for the Backlash match, as people are looking to SummerSlam, which we'll get to, maybe closer to when we talk about like an Oba and Brock a little bit later, what people might look at for SummerSlam. But yeah, what do you think about Jacob and the Bloodline and all this kind of, closing Raw, and this looking like the story we're going with, at least for the foreseeable future, with the world champion? Because
Roman didn't say yes or no yet. That's the one thing. But
you're right. Yep.
We kind of see the writing on the wall. I like Jacob saying, "I don't want that. I need that."
Yes.
And I'm hook, line, and sinker for it. Jacob
May
Fatu.
9th. Sorry, May 9th Backlash.
Don't say May 19th.
No, May 9th. Literally 1, 2. About I think is Backlash in 2 weeks.
That's insane.
About 2.5 weeks. That's crazy. But okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Don't get me wrong. I am super ecstatic for Jacob Fatu versus Roman Reigns.
Me too.
But I will mention, stickler for the rules. Why is a mid-card person on SmackDown getting a Raw World Heavyweight title shot, especially a mid-card SmackDown talent that won a unsanctioned match, which means by definition the match didn't count towards the win-loss rule book or win-loss record book in terms of for the WWE. So, why is Jacob Fatu getting this world title shot? Is it just because of nepotism? So that I have some heat towards that a little bit, but again, am I really gonna be up my own ass and rob myself of Jacob Fatu versus Roman Reigns? No. And like you said too, it's a seemingly probably a match that's being booked for Backlash in 2 weeks. So yeah. I would like maybe Nick Aldis, maybe the fact that Rhea Ripley has now been moved to SmackDown. Maybe we had an impromptu trade. But then say that though, because we know why is a SmackDown superstar just getting a world title shot? Because it hasn't been confirmed yet. Roman has to think about it, but I think we all know what Roman is thinking. And it's very interesting to me too, where it's like a lot of this is similar to the beginning of the Tribal Chief storyline, where it's like, remember when Jey Uso and Roman were going at it and some kind of friendly fire? It's like, oh, Roman gives a fair opportunity to, yo, if you can beat me, you are the Tribal Chief. You are who you say you are, and I'll give you this opportunity. But then once you lose to me, Jacob Fatu is going right back underneath Roman Reigns in the faction.
And I like, if you win, putting more pressure on Jacob, and also the same thing he did with Jay that time ago is, if you win, can you handle this? Can you handle being can you do what I do? Can you be the champion? Can you carry this? It's like, and I think that was kind of the ending of that promo is he was like, I don't think you're ready. So like, think about what you just did, and we'll revisit this. But obviously, I think that to end up being the match. But yeah, I like it. I see what you're saying in terms of the unsanctioned match. I guess my thing is, I guess, like,
don't think about it too hard. Maybe
he did win. Like obviously it is unsanctioned, but like, got a big win at Mania, which does just bump you up the power rankings.
Sure,
if we want to go to the power rankings, but like ultimately, like again, they did use it didn't need to be unsanctioned. They did use the word unsanctioned for a reason. But okay, then we can kind of transition. And that's kind of all you got on the Raw segment for Reigns. We kind of go to, which we're going to get back to the deeper stuff on Mania in a second. But since we're here, I think it's appropriate to talk about the Cody and Punk of it all on Raw. So we start with Punk. And I like this promo. Some of it was a little eye roll to me where, first of all, he comes out, which I loved, like, him explain to the crowd what his jacket meant and all the names on his jacket and shouting out like the staff and crew that passed and Larry and Bo.
I was celebrating 420 and then I was on stream and then like that I started crying a little bit. It was really embarrassing, but whatever.
And then I loved I think a lot of people's takeaway, and it goes to the match of like Punk almost coming to grips a little bit with his own, like, I don't know, age or mortality, because he came out there. And Cody even said it. He's like, I expected you to be like pissed off. And I think Punk, which I appreciate this like a clip going around of some dumbass at like the airport, like harassing like, him, and I think Bailey's there and also AJ. And he like, smacks the phone out, or, he smacks the phone at the camera, like, or like, whatever. And like, I think TMZ report is like, CM Punk crashed out. Or I don't know if TMZ reported, but
after losing to Roman Reigns,
crashed out at a fan. So Punk made a little, the crowd didn't get it, but Punk made a little wink, like, what'd you expect me to crash out? Which I thought was really, really, really funny. Which also, if you're those, I also saw, not to really derail, but I saw stories about, I think Booker T was on his podcast, and he mentioned that like he had fans following him into the bathroom during WrestleMania. Hey,
Lord
fucking
Jesus, man.
Here's the thing. I think I've said it before. We got a very head screwed on right on their shoulders sort of fan base here. Stache Club fans don't do that kind of shit. But just in case one snuck in here for this episode, don't do that shit. That's dumb. And you're a bad wrestling fan, and you're kind of just a bad and dumb person. So don't harass wrestlers, please.
WWE also needs to, I think, up their security, and there's been a few complaints of like stuff like that throughout the weekend, of like also with like lack of catering too, which like I don't want to get up in here.
I haven't seen. Oh wow,
and act like I know everything about the behind the scenes stuff, but I've heard complaints from like Kevin Nash and other wrestlers of like the fact that how little security there was overall, and like I think
specifically to this WrestleMania.
Oh wow, and Damian Priest also had, I think, a conversation protecting Lola, I believe too. So it's a whole thing, and then even too, I saw Wheezy Blonde tweeted that people thought she was Sol Ruka and she got bombarded at some point.
Whoa.
So like this wrestling fans, just fucking chill out, man. Jeez, man. Before we lose WrestleMania to Saudi Arabia every year, jeez, man. To put it back to Punk Cody. The only thing that like is that I don't know, maybe I'm thinking too much about it, but like he lost that match, and I do love the story of just like, again, like age caught up to him, but then to come out and just be like, but I'm still the best in the world, and I proved it last night. No, you didn't. You lost. You lost that match again, and that's me being in more of like kayfabe or whatever. But he obviously, I loved this CM Punk run. I think I said it on stream too. I loved the matches he's had. I love this like grizzled older Punk. I think you may know it, like fighting for every win. I think it's been a really, really great world title run. It is just a little bit, it does just seem like, sometimes like
I don't know what I'm trying to refer it to, but it was a little bit like, and he was saying like, it wasn't my day, but I'm still the best in the world, and like whatever. And I get that's your slogan, whatever, but like Roman beat you. You don't have that title. You don't got that title.
Absolutely.
And then Cody comes out, and it's just also like, again, the eye dude looking insane. Which like I love. I think I'm just a sucker now for a Cody revealing an injury, because when he took off his jacket and Hell in a Cell and the gruesome pet, and then him taking off the sunglasses to reveal the eye.
It's an official fetish of mine, I believe. It's truly, my pop to that was like among the biggest of the weekend. I was like, oh, the eye! That's my QB1.
So yeah, they and it was interesting. Cody went out there and he was like, hey, look, I was the one that like, won my match and won the title. And then I got my ass beat, and I looked like the loser. And Punk was like, "Should I be thinking I'm more of a loser?"
Yeah, Cody kind of just called him a loser to his face,
which I did appreciate. Which like I do appreciate.
He's kind of like you a bit, just kind of like, "Hey man, you lost."
And I do appreciate Punk also, like, because the crowd immediately went like, "Ooh," and then Punk being like, "We're friends, relax." Like
these two with their, and then of course with their, we didn't talk about it just because it's on SmackDown and it was ages ago, but like these two need to start a podcast.
I know.
CM Punk needs to take that second chair from what do you want to talk about. Each other. They really, really do. They have great chemistry.
And with that said, we got the promo and them going back and forth and and ultimately, Punk said before Cody came out and he was like, people thought I was going to go on vacation. Again, this is the side that I love about Punk is I'm going to stay ready. I'm not taking a vacation. I'm going to stay ready because you never know when a title opportunity falls from the sky. And he reiterated that looking at Cody's WWE Championship. You never know when an opportunity is going to fall from the sky. As he's walking out, Cody goes, "Say when," which like, I think Punk, let's get Punk some more wins and let's get him back to earning it. I don't think he should lose a world title match and really get what people argue is the more prestigious world title.
Oh, of course. To me, this is teasing Saudi Arabia next year.
Ooh, see, a lot of people are thinking SummerSlam, but very, very, I could see them teasing the next Mania too.
They do. The WWE has a track record of liking to kind of tease stuff the night after Mania. I mean, not as much as this is, going out on a limb, but like Rock and Cena, hyping up a match for a full year. But I took it as, this is going to be the Saudi Arabia match next year in WrestleMania.
Oh, interesting. I don't know. I didn't really take it as anything.
Same thing as the stare off with Liv and Rhea later in the night too.
Yeah.
So,
when
to
Liv
me,
was
that was them
backstage.
kind of playing it could be at SummerSlam, and I could be wrong, but to me, they're definitely teasing those matches for the future.
Sure, 100%. I selfishly, it is a WrestleMania level match, 1,000,000%. But I selfishly, SummerSlam's a lot sooner. Get that reference? SummerSlam's a lot sooner. Ronda Rousey promo.
Oh no!
Sorry. I was expecting a big pop out of you. I thought that was gonna get you.
I'm sorry.
I was like, I said that. I was so proud of that joke.
I honestly thought you flubbed up, and I was like, oh, it's fine. Like words. I say words wrong all the time. So, but I'm sorry.
No, but I forget. I don't even know if she said SummerSlam. I forget. No, SummerSlam. That's a lot sooner.
Soruka called Royal Rumble Battle Royal last night. What's up with that?
Oh, did she?
She did, yes.
I didn't clock that.
I did.
When did she say that?
She was referencing like Liv eliminating her during the Royal Rumble. And
she said Battle Royal?
I
missed
which I'm
that.
like, you're not a real
funny.
wrestling fan. But
stop. God, she's the best. God, she's the best. She's a superstar. But we're gonna talk about, they had a banger, dude. I love their match on Raw. But we have... So yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about the Punk. I love the tease. I mean, these two are going to have a generational feud. Either whoever takes the heel position is going to be successful, and I hope WWE lets them really do some AEW callbacks in terms of like, we both are, we're in that company. You know what I mean?
Even so, I kind of missed the whole crash out terminology with the TMZ fight report. I took it as the crash out stuff being the behind the stage stuff with the AEW and Cody.
Sure, that too.
And Cody knowing like Punk is a crash out or whatever.
That too. I think that's all part of it.
And I will say, I'm of course pleasantly surprised with the best in the world letting us know that he's not going anywhere for a vacation. But that also just makes me go, then why is Jacob Fatu getting this title match? Because I know we're kind of past the old booking processing of like, every champion gets a rematch and maybe gets another rematch after that. But like CM Punk had a long, lengthy reign. to me, when you're a lengthy champion, it sounds kind of weird.
When you're a girthy champion,
yes, when you're a girthy champion, I feel like you're sort of entitled to a rematch. Who's to say I CM Punk Roman Reigns too? I mean, God, that would be amazing. But I don't know. I'm not trying to be so dismissive of Jericho Fatu, but in my head, I can't really get it out of it. It's like SmackDown superstar or CM Punk in the rematch if he's not going nowhere. But I am curious though, where does he go from here though? If he is going to be sticking around,
Punkster?
Yeah,
it's a good question. Again,
Logan Paul.
I hope he works as like I don't know. I mean, he will obviously be in the main event picture, but I wouldn't be mad. I don't know. I do want him to work his way back up,
yes.
Let's also get something different. We did the Seth Rollins. It's like not that there's any inclination to this, but I don't want him feuding with Seth Rollins again. Like, let's get something fresh, whatever
Agreed.
it is. All right, we can go back to. We have so much more to cover. We can go back all the way back to Mania here, brother. Let's go to Oba Brock. Let me put down this timestamp. This was cool. I selfishly or not selfishly, me and you want a little more out of this. I mean, it ended up being a little over 4 minutes long. It accomplished what it needed to do. It was a car crash.
And given to what happened afterwards, which like that took some time too, so that makes some sense. But yeah, our reaction immediately was, we wanted some more, which was what we were saying on the podcast last week.
And people are defending it, being like, well, it's a Brock match. And it's like,
I get it.
I get it, and they're not wrong, but it's like these two were, it's like they can, I don't know why people have a problem with two professional wrestlers professionally wrestling. You know what I mean?
Especially after the main complaint of night one.
Yeah.
Matches are incredibly short.
And I'm not asking for the world. No. I'm not asking for a 20-minute. I'm asking for
another 5 minutes.
I'm asking for an 8-minute match instead of a 4-minute match.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's all I'm asking.
Especially the first minute or so.
And showboat. They don't gotta be
locking up.
They don't gotta be on the ground. They give me some one suplex and then jog for 45 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying it has to be like a work rate heavy thing, but anyway.
And someone too that is like a main complaint with modern wrestling is like finishers don't finish matches. And like, yeah, we only got one F5 and one Fall of Grace, but like I could have seen another Fall of Grace. And I'm not saying Brock should kick out of it, but maybe Oba just really punctuates, but given great outcome.
And I did really love though to the finishers one of like one F5 and Oba not just popping up though. Like he got up, which showed like, oh my God, he's like a monster. Different. But like he was like on his, it wasn't like he was on his knee. He was getting back up. He was fighting to get back up.
Brock sold it well.
Yeah, This match was a lot of fun. Just a car crash. And
obviously the torch.
Yeah, and I think there was even a moment which I didn't catch it in the moment. I saw a clip afterward, but like Oba going back up the ramp, and also you could see in the facial expression when Oba won of like, oh my God, I just beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Like what in this? Like this guy's what 27, 28, whatever he is.
Yep.
Insane. You can tell how much it meant to him and the emotion. I think even meant to Brock because like we'll talk about what happened afterward. But I saw a clip of Oba doing his pose and then almost like putting a cowboy hat on.
Aww.
Of kind of just like I'm taking the beast's reigns here. And then, which like one of the biggest surprises of the whole weekend, me and you were on stream and just like, oh my God, what's happening? Brock sits in the middle of the ring and just kind of starts looking emotional. And he takes off his gloves, takes off his boots, puts him in the middle of the ring, bows, kisses the ring, hugs Paul Heyman, throws up the X, which, just because we didn't say it out loud, a lot of people were like, that means this. We know what that means. Everyone knows what that means. But I thought it was a nice touch of throwing up the X to signify.
Which is why I think he did it.
Of what do you mean?
Brock Lesnar doing the X. I mean, of course, in kayfabe to let Paul Heyman know this is real.
Yes,
but I also think he's well aware that people know what that means.
Yes.
So I think that's another reason why he did that.
Yeah, I don't think it was him doing like this is an insider thing like Paul Heyman knows. Throwing up the X to symbolize like, no, this is not scripted. This is real.
I think it's scripted.
I mean, sure, everything. We'll kind of see what happens, but a lot of it.
Because I do agree with a lot of people saying that this was a beautiful moment, and it was, and it's the right. It's almost a lot of the sentiment because our reaction was like, What about Gunther?
Where's Gunther?
Yeah, where's
I was
Gunther?
even expecting Gunther to come out right then and there.
Yes, me
and
too.
cash in on that favor or whatever.
Yes, and I still think he will, even though a lot of people were like, that was perfect. He doesn't need to go against Gunther, which I somewhat do agree with, but I still will maintain, I think Brock ain't done yet.
Yeah, so like and it's hard to compare. So obviously one thing did happen, and the other thing is a hypothetical.
Sure.
But I think in this moment, like as much as I do love Gunther and I love the career killer thing, and it would be a massive, as we say, another gem on the Infinity Gauntlet to also retire Brock Lesnar. This felt special.
Yeah.
And I think I would prefer this, and I like the passing the torch retirement moment to Oba. And obviously there's then there's all speculation of like, again, Heyman's reaction to it, the emotions to it, throwing up the X, like, was this an on-the-fly call? Did Brock make the call? Did Brock not want to, retire at SummerSlam because of, speculation, want to go out on his own terms? And then to your point, there is the wrestling story of it all, where Gunther's still there. It was his favor to Paul Heyman was brought up the other night on Raw. Gunther still has this favor that is owed to him by Paul, and that very well could be like, hey, Brock Lesnar, bring him back because I want to retire him. Which, like, if that happens, I'm fine. I think again, I don't think it's a wrong thing. I think it's a good thing.
I do agree, though. It would be a great send off. It would be it was unexpected. It was emotional, and it was like a passing of the torch moment. But I think though, with all that being said, I think we're still going to get the Ring General SummerSlam Gunther versus Brock Lesnar, and even so, it's going to be a point where it's like Gunther is really going to press that button, aka Paul Heyman, and probably really rough him up to get Brock to come back, which will get a babyface Brock Lesnar, which like I did not think was possible in the year 2026 versus Gunther, and I'll be very much invested into that. But I do see though, like this honestly would be a beautiful send off. So maybe you don't need that, but I think
glad.
we're getting it.
I am glad it didn't happen. I'm glad when Paul was out there with the Vision. I am glad like Brock didn't like. I'm glad it wasn't a quick turnaround, and I want this to breathe because I don't want it to take. I don't want the Gunther match to take away from this Oba match and this Oba moment where like if we immediately pivot into like Gunther being like no, bring him back. It's like. Obviously, SummerSlam's in August, so we have some time.
Yeah.
Let it breathe. And if you are going to bring Brock back, then it's like, you cement this moment with Oba.
Because there's also a little argument to be made of like the retirement kind of did overshadow Oba already a little bit. Just because I like a lot. Not so much so we can confirm. I don't.
It was
feel
more
that
so. It was
because
definitely what people were talking about.
Yes, but then of course Oba comes out on Raw. The ruler has arrived.
Mic drop, dude.
Ultimately, no, but like
I fucking loved that opener.
Yeah.
That just the ruler has arrived. Boom. I love that.
It was very reminiscent of Roman Reigns, who Oba called out in the post show of this is my yard now,
Yeah.
And Oba Roman Reigns will be a generational matchup whenever we get that. That could be the SummerSlam match too. But Brock Lesnar, man, this, if I'm wrong, if this actually is it, because I can see him too also just being like, that was kind of a perfect send off, and this,
going out on his own terms. Like, no, this is Oba is the Gunther's Gunther 1,000,000%, but like. Oba is the one that needs the passing of the torch moment,
I just think there's definitely heat towards like a guy trying to go out and retire on his own legs,
and Gunther dragging him back.
Issue,
yeah, no, you're not wrong. I definitely
issue.
see it. I think right now I'm just so emotionally invested in the Oba of it all that I'm just like we'll talk about that, but I think I'm too much. Yeah, I think I'm too recency bias to what just happened with Oba.
Very fair.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But and also another thing too is like I'm seeing this is getting in the weeds of it of like obviously the big talk is SummerSlam is in Minneapolis and Brock, but like I saw some comments of like Brock doesn't really claim Minneapolis and he's not like really from. I don't know.
Brock also says he doesn't like wrestling, this and that. I don't believe Brock for a second. I think he's a big softy deep down.
And then, so yeah, we talked about. All right, I guess we can move on. I'm sure you're. Well, I don't know if you are chomping at the bit to talk about this, but we had Rhea Ripley defeat Jade Cargill to become the new women's. What was it? WWE Championship. I was the World Championship, WWE Championship. This match ruled. Really fun. I give a lot of I guess credit's the word, Jade and Rhea worked great together. They delivered. People, unfortunately, had low expectations for one reason or another going to this match, and they, cleared low expectations easily, but then I think really surpassed expectations and had a really killer match. And obviously we got the, as you call the baddie Shield involvement, Io Sky coming out, which thank God we got some Io Sky on the show.
She got a Mania check.
She got a Mania check. But this was fun. And then obviously, we got a outcome that, one half this table is a little more defeated about. But talk to me a little about Rhea and Jade. How you feeling?
I feel like the wrong person
Back
won.
of the line.
No, don't say that, man. But no, I will look at it in a positive light. I will look at my favorite women's wrestler got to defend the world title at WrestleMania against the biggest women's wrestling star in the world and put on a damn good match.
Good.
No botches. I don't want to hear no one criticizing Jade for not knowing how to wrestle when you can't even tie your own goddamn boots. You can't even do your goddamn own taxes. These people out here criticizing Jade Cargill. I can go on and on.
Hitting the one-winged angel?
Better than Kenny, to be
Well,
honest with
okay,
you.
no, but
Well, I mean,
incorrect.
here's the thing. The last two times the one-winged angel was performed, people have kicked out of it. So, is it really an effective move? I don't really know.
Well, Rhea kicked out of it.
As I'm saying, so Rhea kicked out of it, and then the last two times it was used, someone has kicked out of it. So is it really an effective move? I don't know, but I don't know. The Sandstorm, as it's actually called, looked like a pretty convincing move, I would say. But regardless, unfortunately, comes up short. And as much as I am biased, I'll take off my Jade shtick fan hat. I understand, Rhea Ripley winning it by and large probably is the right move, especially considering she's now a official person on SmackDown now, which
She is a person.
She is a person on SmackDown now, and that SmackDown women's division definitely needed some top heavy stars, and there is no more top heavier star than Rhea Bloody Ripley. This feud I thought could have been a lot better. And to me, again, I'm someone too that really thinks the internet and the words of some of the IWC is really a small amount, but I will say there has been a very large growing resentment towards Rhea that we haven't seen for a while, maybe because she's been hidden in the tag division. But as more success comes, more eyeballs and more people start chirping, and this feud did get a little personal within the fandoms, and a lot of Rhea's character has been pulled into consideration a little bit. At least that's what I'm seeing online. And again, online, take a shit with a grain of salt. That pop was one of the largest pops I think Muscleman Malcolm said he's ever heard in an arena. So she's still massively over and this and that. But I thought it was this unfortunately, in my opinion, made Rhea this feud lower her stock a little bit. And I don't think it's Jade's fault. I think Jade did and that's not me biased fan saying that. That's just me as a wrestling analyst guy saying it. Jade did such good media and has such a presence, and I'm just very proud of her in this title run. I wish she had more defenses. I don't think she had one on a PLE, which I think is criminal. And I do think the wrong person did win. I think you could have built a Jade undefeated streak at WrestleMania. I think they could have easily just had a rematch and Rhea could have won it. But the match itself really delivered. I thought it was they both displayed some athleticism. They both had ironically some good in-ring chemistry, which no chemistry elsewhere in any bouts. But a very good showing, and I thought one of the better matches of night 2.
Yeah, for sure. I think to the Rhea of it all, even going into this match, I was kind of we're doing as someone who loves Rhea and Io, I was even we're going back to Rhea and Io, and then last night on Raw, which I think this was a positive, but and who am I complaining to get Io Sky on a Mania where she's not even booked, unfortunately, but as they're walking backstage, and you mentioned this, this is right before the Liv Morgan moment. Rhea was like, "Oh, I gotta go defend us on SmackDown now. We're splitting again. We're breaking up again.
Another goodbye.
Another goodbye." And then a little I love you. Be safe, you too. And I like that moment, but it did just feel this didn't feel like we needed to get Rhea and Io back together just to split. I don't know. It just kind of felt
even the odds against the baddie Shield, I guess,
for sure. And again, she still has a friend. It all makes sense.
But after that tag team match that opened up Raw, which was a phenomenal match,
really good.
I'm asking myself, why are we getting Rhea out of the tag team division? Because that Rio, I mean, given those are two of the best individual stars, so I get it. It's time to move on. But that tag team match freaking ruled, man. I don't know.
But also, like, I don't know why didn't they run Io Asuka?
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of what
especially the Kabuki Warriors didn't fill in for the Bellas, which did confirm to lose.
And like even like Asuka's promo was all about Io, and it's more the same. Like I've always been your senpai, and you've even tried to take Kyrie away from me, and you've lost the plot, and da-da. And then we just lead into. I mean, that's probably what's gonna be. But then we just led into like, I guess that's probably the answer then. But then we did just lead into tried and true Kabuki Warriors versus Rhea and Io, which again. It's not like I'm complaining about it. I did love the match, but it's just similar thinking to the Bloodline stuff that closed the show. It's just like it didn't feel new and refreshing post Mania, if I can give that critique, but I don't know. But
because I think that's sort of why Rhea didn't put, in my opinion, so much effort or kind of got sour on the feud with Jade. I mean, given of course it started off with the whole Twitter spat where Jade broke the fourth wall, and then Rhea kind of even broke the fourth wall even more. In my opinion, it's like I don't think Rhea really wanted to work Jade at WrestleMania. I think Rhea probably wanted to have a tag team match with Io Sky or work with Io Sky in some regards at WrestleMania. So I think that's why, in my opinion, the build wasn't the greatest for this match.
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of too far in. I don't know. That feels like speculation to me.
Sure.
But I see what you're saying in terms of like the online stuff. But like I don't really have a call on like the personal.
What do you think of Adam Weissman?
Adam Weissman.
He was on commentary for this match. Didn't say a
wasn't
word.
that the guy? He like paid a bunch of money to be on commentary or some shit.
Which like adds
that kind of passed me. I didn't really like know. Again, we were on stream, so like
I didn't notice on stream, but I noticed afterwards. And to me, that adds to the whole soullessness of WrestleMania advertising.
Yeah. So what was the story? He like paid. What was the story?
He's just a rich guy,
and he was just like, I want to be on commentary. That's so funny.
Which like,
and did they give him a mic? Yeah, a mic.
He had a mic, but he didn't say a word.
That's crazy.
And here's the thing too.
What if he was muted?
Maybe. If I was filthy rich, I would. If I was going to pick a match too, it would be this match to sit on commentary. So I get it, but at the same time, it's like at some point that you got to say no. Like,
yeah, that's weird.
Have Mark sitting at the table.
This is kind of something that I guess really just passed me by. But yeah, how did Cole even sell that? Like
it was Wade Barrett and Cole, and they were kind of laughing at him. To be honest with you, they're like, "Hey,
I'll have to watch that.
We're here with Adam Weissman, this and that." And like
they say who he was.
Yeah, and they showed a graphic. His name was on the graphic.
Yeah, I saw that. Okay,
yeah.
I saw that graphic. Yeah, it kind of passed me by.
I was shocked to find
that's
out.
wild.
Yeah.
But speaking of, I was kind of talking about, which we have so much more of Mania to talk about, but also bleeding into Raw, because it's also exciting to happen on Raw in terms of I was talking about things don't feel fresh in terms of maybe some matches on Raw and the Bloodline stuff. But what is fresh? We got some NXT call ups here on Raw. We got All Ego Ethan Page making the call up, and then as we were alluded to earlier, we got Sol Ruca making the call up. Big fan. I think both these looked great. Ethan Page defeating Javon Evans.
History there.
Yeah, for sure. NXT history there. And say what you will about Javon eating a loss, but he's coming off a big ladder match, and then also there was
interference.
We got there's interference, and you got Penta, Rusev, and whatever. Rusev ended up standing there with the IC title, which I think I saw your tweet. I don't disagree with you.
Looked pretty good.
He looks.
And I was playing 2K earlier in the day, and I was doing a ladder match for the IC title. Rusev won. I wasn't even. I was.
You simulated it.
I was like, what the heck?
He didn't simulate. He beat you. Who were you playing as?
I added Trick Williams to the match because I like Trick
Hell
Williams.
Yeah.
But Rusev beat me. I was pissed. But he looked good in the game, and he looked good on Raw with the title.
Yeah. So yeah, I love Ethan Page's inclusion in the IC title. It almost feels like the US title chase, some time ago. I love everything here. We're gonna kind of bleed into the IC ladder match in a second, but and then Sol Ruca and Liv Morgan, we already said earlier, throwing down a banger. I mean, Sol Ruca. I mean, it's what everyone's saying. I'm not saying anything new, but the next big superstar for the WWE. She has the look. She has the moveset. She's very like this generation's Lita and Jeff Hardy combined, right? I can't speak more highly about Sol Ruca, and I love that the work that her and Liv did. And again, we're back to Raw. There is it's Zarya and Sol Ruka, I believe, tonight.
Yes. Revenge.
So Zarya
NXT Revenge.
Zarya came in, interference, and da-da-da, so like say what we will.
But I really liked when she interfered, and I thought, like, oh, there's gonna be a count out. Sol got up and made the count, only to unfortunately meet with an oblivion.
But then the first oblivion into the handstand for the counter. Oh my god! And then
dope.
into the Soul Snatcher.
Soul Snatcher looked pretty good. It did.
We're gonna get you on the Soul Snatcher train eventually.
I am very much. It's a case by case basis. I think it's a matter of the speed of which Soul does it and what is causing the opponent to be kind of lackadaisical, waiting there for it to happen. Because also with the ladder match, we haven't gotten there yet. The biggest spot, which is Javon and Rusev. There is some, gotta shut your brain off to enjoy, which is all wrestling really is, to be honest with you. But very good Soul Snatcher.
We'll go right into the IC ladder match here. I think the main event of Roman Punk is the best match of the weekend and probably my favorite, but this IC ladder match had it, dude. Like, I wanted to put this at number one so bad. I love this match. I could talk for an hour about it. Everyone looked so good. I think Rusev played his role well as kind of the anchor.
Who's that jumping out the sky?
Ray comes jumping out that I did have to go and evidently rewatch a bunch of times, but Ray comes out looking like...
You rewatched it like 20 times.
I did rewatch it a bunch. He's looking like a 25-year-old out there, like doing all... He had like the craziest, or some of the craziest table spots. Like he was going nuts.
Even the ladder table spot,
That spot, he had the innovative 619 with like, I think it was Jade or whoever it was, like in the ladder.
Moving fluidly.
This dude, he looked unreal. And then... Obviously, Penta looked like a star here, retaining, which I loved, hitting the Mexican Destroyer on JD, which just looked nuts, dude. JD, obviously, so much credit in the world. Dragon Lee, Javon Evans, potentially the MVP of the night, really showing out. Him doing the hanging spot with the hanging from the title.
I thought his ankles would break.
It's so scary, dude. Yeah, I can't talk high enough about this match and Penta getting the win. And then that controversial Javon Cutter, which to me that just says Rusev saw him coming and tried to maybe get the best of him or whatever. But ultimately it is just a spot you gotta work with.
It's a massive, high, chaotic spot fest, man.
Yeah.
And we enjoy for what it was. The Mexican Destroyer on the ladder, too, which I don't understand how much room they had, and they did it flawlessly.
Crazy. Like, the height they got was nuts.
It's insane. This was so enjoyable. Every WrestleMania needs a multi-man ladder match, to be honest with you. But hats off to all six of these men. Unfortunately, too, Lee, McDonough, and Rusev got jobber entrances, which is a criminal thing.
That's
Everyone
insane.
at WrestleMania needs to have
$1,000,000%.
their moment in entrance. So that's a negative on this match, but it's a bit unfair. I thought actually the right person won. I know I really wanted Javon Evans to win.
Me too.
I picked Javon Evans to win, but
Me too.
Penta retaining does make a lot of sense.
Agreed.
And is super badass.
Yeah, the guy, I mean, him and everyone in this match is a star. Again, I said earlier, we were talking about Ethan Page, like, if this is our IC title picture with also now the inclusion of Ethan Page, dude, like, sign me up. I assume maybe swap out Ethan Page for Ray. I don't know if Ray is really going to be in this IC title picture too much. Maybe, hey, by all means, get him in there. But I have not much else to say on this rule. My second, it could be my favorite match. Not necessarily it's the best match, but I do think Roman Reigns and Punk was the best match. But it could very well be my favorite match.
I think you were saying it was your favorite match up until
1,000,000%.
Roman and Punk. Fair enough.
And I think I saw like a tweet that was like all these guys were like, all right, fellas, let's go save WrestleMania coming off of the first night.
I love Ray, Penta, and Dragon all matching too with the blood red.
Sure,
really
yeah,
little cool feature.
Yeah, really, really, really cool match. All right, I mean, we have a bunch of options to go to. What do you want to go to?
The gingerbread man.
I'm down for that. We got Trick Williams defeating Sami Zayn to become your new U.S. champion. This rocked, man. Well, I think I just liked what it did in the time they had. My biggest gripe, and I think a lot of people's biggest gripe, is it would have rocked a lot more if they got more time. This was like a 10-minute match. And
7:07.
Was it 7? Oh, I thought it was 10. Wow, 7 minutes. That's crazy. Yeah.
And you had it over Jade and Rhea in your rankings, my friend. I was a bit upset with you.
I think they did more in the time.
I think you want that little Yachty feature.
Honestly, that'd be sick.
That would be sick.
I loved what Yachty did in this. Everyone looked great.
The highlight.
Sami Zayn just getting booed out of the building.
Very crazy.
Huh?
Very crazy.
Crazy, but not unexpected at this point.
Sure.
It's kind of like Trick looking like a superstar. What was your highlight? What were you gonna say?
The long coat, man.
So sick. Man, it just kept going.
It may be. Oh, it's so hard because there are so many, but like it's
a good attire.
I have to make a WrestleMania entrance ranking video just because there are so many great entrances. I think it's between Trick's and Liv Morgan's, but that to me,
we'll talk about that.
The long coat to me was just awesome. And then even I saw some fan make a video of like Trick Williams' coat at WrestleMania, and he just unfurls a whole thing of paper towels. So good.
I saw someone Photoshop like a CVS receipt for the whole thing. Yeah, I think I love that Trick Williams won. He looks made for that U.S. title. And then, I'm really curious what we do with Sami here and how we kind of like, I guess, redesign Sami Zayn in 2026. But like I said, the bigger story here is Trick Willie. But again, the second they were cooking, the second it really started to heat up and like everyone was having fun, it ended. And it's like, I don't know.
And it aids to the point of these matches being too short.
Yeah.
And getting too many ads. Night 2, I will say, on stream, I did notice, I was more aware, maybe that was the amount of less beers being had, but I did notice more advertisements in Night 2.
For sure.
For my viewing. And the fact that this match went 7 minutes and we had a bunch of ads, really disappointed. But regardless, they were the right outcome, which thank God for that. Yeah. And I'm also very curious too what Sami Zayn does. I had this thought too. I know I kind of just said Punk and Rhodes kind of teasing, in my opinion, Saudi Mania. But to me, like I think about a lot like during WrestleMania currently, like what are we going to do next year's WrestleMania? Next year's WrestleMania, as we know, is in Saudi Arabia. What will Sami Zayn's role be? I really think I'm really hoping this, and but Sami Zayn for CM Punk in Saudi Arabia would be like banana land. I think that would be such a good match. The promos would be bananas. I don't think you need a world title, but
a lot of ROH callbacks in that feud.
Oh my god! Like and then like the polarizingness of like Sami Zayn being the hero, and Punk's kind of has that Saudi Arabia stigma, though he kind of squashed it. But like I don't know, it's something I thought of last night. But in terms of like what could happen, very much so in the future, I think you got to get Melo's ass in Trick, and I think Sami Zayn might have been proven to be a transitional champion just to get the title away from Melo onto Trick in a way that then you can save Trick and Melo for a long-term feud. But Sami Zayn, man, I think full heel turn I think is needed.
Yeah, because they didn't like. I compared this moment, Trick winning, to Dom winning last year, the IC title. Obviously, he's the heel, especially on paper, he's the heel. And but I love Trick taking the moment, basking in the admiration of the fans. And this is, you kind of break, I don't know, kayfabe, I guess if you want to say, of just like, yeah, he deserves it, and the fans express that. And also, they were cheering him anyway.
Right. Reminded me of Dom last year.
That's why that's what I said. Cool match. All right. Speaking of Dom, Demon Finn Balor defeating Dom Mysterio. Fun match. I think it was smart to go to a street fight. Oh, yeah. I don't know much else to say about it. I think I said it somewhere else too, where it's like, who am I to complain about getting the demon? But to me, and I don't know, I feel like having my cake and eating it too, and I don't like chocolate cake, or I don't like vanilla or whatever. But the demon didn't hit for me in this match. Like I'm fully bought into like the demon is the 99 plus overall version of Finn, and the demon is more powerful. Like I'm fully bought into like the silliness, Undertaker, mystical being of it all, and it just didn't super feel necessary for this feud at this point. I think this feud was long overdue, and I'm glad we finally got the match. And Dom did a good job of selling. Like, he was like, a little intimidated by the demon. The demon entrance was cool. But, yeah, and best takeaway, though, we got Finn Balor with a win. Demon got a win, which was huge. And then you go to Raw, and Finn's still back with his old theme. He's back in the trunks with a little bit of blue facing JD McDonough. And we have, which I guess we can talk about all that in a second too, but we have old Finn Balor back, which seems like it was capitalized off of this Demon win. Fun match. Dom didn't need the win here. I was hoping this would kind of be the end of Judgment Day, and we're kind of not seeing that. But what you think of the good old Demon?
Probably should have been a surprise.
I think that would have helped more.
Yeah, probably should have been a surprise.
I had a conversation with when I was on Conman's stream giving predictions. I had a conversation with him. He already made that pun. It's the name of his podcast. I had a conversation with him. I was like, I said the same thing. I wanted the surprise. I think it should have been a surprise. And I kind of said, but I get it. You gotta sell tickets and put butts in the seats. And he made a good point, and he was like, I'd like to see the numbers though from when they announced Demon to how many more tickets they sold.
Yeah.
And I think I don't think it made I don't think like announcing Demon was, getting them bet up to the 50,000 mark. You know what I mean? So I think you fully could have had the surprise.
I'd be curious if it affected one ticket sale.
Yeah, right.
But regardless, we're getting babyface Finn now, and like you mentioned too, the Demon for sure needed a win after Vince for some reason gave Edge the win at 39 as he was going out. But yeah, we're starting to repair the Demon Finn Balor, and this was a huge start to it. Shout out Dom Mysterio though, his entrance, the Luchador throne was really sick.
Yep.
Really, and I'm happy that he did get some offense in this match. This match went 10 and a half minutes, and I disagree. I'm loving the Judgment Day, and I just how funny how they're just the cool kids, man, and the factions is always changing, and it's gonna be.
Well, I like the Judgment Day.
Okay,
I just am like, I'm so sick of like the Finn and whatever. I just want to move on, do something different.
Oh, for sure.
Because then on Raw we got
JD versus Finn.
We got JD versus Finn, which I like because he's right. He had the promo where he's like, okay, I took out Dom. There's one more left. I got to take out JD. I took out JD, and that should have been the end of it. But then we got Dom interrupting, and so like. That like Demon Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio should have been the end of Dom and Finn.
Agreed.
And then, like I said, if you want to take out the other lackey or whatever on Raw, fine. But like this should have been the end of like Finn and the Judgment Day stuff, in my opinion.
Because where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna go from here? Like they already had a street fight. Is it gonna be the Demon Finn versus both those guys? Maybe the entire Judgment Day.
Maybe
that could be kind of compelling.
Throw Roxy and Raquel in there. I don't know.
Yeah.
But all right. Speaking of Judgment Day, we can go to Liv and Steph. Liv Morgan, your new Women's World Champion. This match was really good. I like, obviously, the build was a big positive and one of the biggest positives in terms of story builds coming into this. The entrance of Liv was really cool. I get it. It's, in my opinion, it's not a good song. I agree with people saying that. I don't think it's a good song. The entrance rocked. She performed the music video while like doing the Britney Spears mic or whatever. Just because you don't like the song, fine. But the entrance was fucking sick. I don't know. That's my 2 cents.
It's a great song. It's a fantastic. It's a catchy song. I even heard you whistling it as I was leaving for WrestleMania Night 1.
It's catchy.
It's a catchy, and yeah, honestly, it really is. I'm kind of doing a bit of saying it's really good, but honestly, I am catching myself going trouble, that's James. And yeah, like what a phenomenal performance of doing it at WrestleMania as an entrance. Very heelish too, in a very like
100%.
Self-absorbed pop star way.
Exactly.
And just hot as hell, like the ripping off the clothes, all that stuff, which is like hell yeah, really got me excited for the match. And then of course this match ultimately is the tagline is why didn't these women get 10 more minutes? But some reports have come out that they're both banged up, which are like I believe it.
but then why did Liv Morgan have a 15-minute banger with Sol Ruka the next night?
Well, both of them. I think Stephanie might be banged up too, allegedly. So.
That's what I'm saying. If the report is like they're both banged up,
right?
Then it's like, okay, well, it's already Liv had the match. I don't believe it. I think
maybe so, because that's a good point.
I think, and maybe this is me getting to my side, just like, no, I don't believe anything, and everything's a lie. But like, I think the biggest criticism of the whole night, and especially this match, you're right. I'm glad you said that because that was my biggest takeaway. This match is like, again, just as they were like really cooking, this shit ended, and it was a really, really fun match. And for it being one of the better builds, why'd you only give them, I don't know, whatever, however, I don't know how long it was.
6:51.
it didn't even hit 7. Jesus
and then also you have a
Christ.
bunch of Judgment Day interference from Roxy Raquel.
Yeah.
Which also shout out Roxanne's outfit, really cool.
True.
But just short but effective. And the right person won. Liv's coming off a Rumble win, big pop star now. And Stephanie had a memorable run. I wish she had more matches too.
Yeah.
Almost very similar to Jade, where I'm a big fan of the reign, but also wish we had more substance. But given she'll probably be a multi-time world champion, she won't be going nowhere. She's a huge star in her own right. But Morgan using the Three Amigos, backstabber, all that stuff was really good. And I do just wish it was longer though. I do.
The match, yeah, me too. On Raw, we got Stephanie and Liv kind of staring each other down, post Sol Ruka stuff with Raquel kind of in the background there. So I think we're definitely still leading into one. I love that Stephanie is still in the mix here.
Folks wanted to turn from the Judgment Day, so yeah, I guess maybe that speaks to you wanting that too, maybe. Raquel and or Roxanne maybe turning on Liv.
Yeah, sure. I think it's interesting. At least again, if we're still doing Judgment Day stuff, give me I think Raquel especially is deserving of.
She was so close to the
title
world
match.
title,
Yeah. And Roxanne. I mean, I hope Roxanne gets a bigger spotlight soon because she's been kind of just she was injured, granted, I think, but
she's back now,
and she's one of the best women's wrestlers they have. So it's why are you not having Roxanne wrestle? I don't know. All right, we can move on to Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee. Becky Lynch taking the title, new IC champ. Also a solid match. I thought AJ looked good. I think a lot of people were just wondering. I mean, she obviously had another singles match beforehand to win that title, but yeah, on the big stage, AJ Lee came out with all the children AJs, which again, instantly when it's the face coming out with all the kids, you're like, oh, they're getting their ass kicked. They're gonna lose.
Thanks a lot, John Cena.
Becky coming out to the Wonder Years live, which I will say again, I couldn't really tell on stream, and I was quick to defend them because I just like the band, but pretty rough lip syncing from the kind of missed the cue, and I was kind of defending it. I'm no, it's just a backing track. I walked that back for sure, but I still like the presentation of it. It's I still like the band and the live band and the singer just screaming in Becky's face and Becky getting amped up.
For sure. I wonder if that's their call though to do that. Maybe it was a production call of them, the lip sync.
I fully again. It is a stadium. It is I don't know. It might just be. Oh, I think I saw also there was, which I don't know whose decision it was, but I guess the lead singer is pretty outspoken politically. So if they gave him a live mic, there's a good chance, on live WrestleMania, he would have said something crazy.
Oh wow.
Or something
that they wouldn't want.
I would say not crazy, but something that WWE wouldn't have wanted and would have thought. Yeah. But anyway, I like this match for what it was. And it makes sense Becky picking up the win here. I don't expect to see AJ Lee on TV much. I think she's I could see her coming back for SummerSlam, but yeah. And also we got which we'll talk about in a little bit too. We might be having this self-proclaimed 4 horsewoman versus new 4 horsewoman sort of thing. So the photo backstage of the Bellas and Paige and AJ, Jesus Christ. All throw up the 4s.
Oh, well, thing is, the other side of that equation is missing their second best player. So how are you going to do that rivalry? Well, Nikki Bella is injured, so maybe you do a 3-on-3 of the 4 horsewomen? People
are speculating you throw Alexa in for Sasha.
Oh.
Which,
I suppose you can do that.
It's not the true 4 horsewomen, but Alexa deserves her flowers.
You don't have Triple H's favorite in there. You gotta get Mercedes back, man. Becky versus AJ, though, I thought was a decent little match. Quick and physical, and the best part to me was the ref drama. Jessica Carr,
True.
Which I think you got to have a payoff match with Jessica and Becky Lynch at some point.
Yeah.
The history's there. I love the storytelling with the ring post, which ultimately played the X Factor in the match and the manhandle slam. Becky Lynch now a 3-time women's IC champion. She's the Miz of the women's IC title. So shout out big time Becky Lynch. Can't wait to see her next week on Raw.
All right, then we had a couple more matches to cover here. Okay, Gunther Seth.
Gunther.
Great match. I thought this was really good. We got a Braun Breaker return here, which I like it ultimately, especially now that we're a little more removed from it, and we also got Night 2. But in the moment, it was like by far and away, at least in my opinion, it was the best match on the card, and it was the most wrestling match we got. And then we got interference, and it was, again, I do think Braun Breaker's inclusion, it makes sense. It builds to one, it protects Seth and Gunther, and then it builds to more Braun and Seth stuff that we got on Raw, and then. But yeah, this was cool. I liked Gunther locking in the choke and Seth passing out. Not much more to say about. I think the bigger story here is like the takeaways of what is going to happen with Gunther after and what's happening with Braun and Seth and all that. Folks, sorry, weird pause in the episode. I kicked the shit out of the outlet under the desk and it turned everything off. But we're still going here. I'm not really sure exactly where it left off, but it cut off when Jimmy, you were giving your opinion on the Braun Breaker involvement in the Seth and Gunther match.
You turned heel, man. That was a brutal kick to the equipment.
Oh, this is weird. Just weird going.
But yeah, to me, my sentiment was, one of the only matches of night one that did get over 15 minutes gets interrupted by interference, and though it itself was a WrestleMania moment, the return of Braun Breaker, including an unexpected spear to Seth Rollins. It's just like this match, Gunther and Seth. Like the criticism was like it didn't have a story, and like. And a lot of us were kind of just like, oh, regardless. But the fact that I got interrupted by the other story that they're going to be telling, to me was a bit disappointing. But Rollins with the crazy black contacts in the entrance was pretty cool.
I love that he turned around and all of a sudden they were gone. I still can't get over
as someone that wears contacts. I don't understand how it's a whole process.
I don't get it.
Gunther looks slick, looked very good. A lot of good apron power bombs, the pedigree stomp counters, all that stuff, and then of course the outside chaos. But now here we are with the Braun Breaker Seth Rollins. I'm looking forward to that feud. That match I think could be really, really, really good. I think Braun Breaker needs a win, but that's also kind of unfortunate because Seth just took a loss to Gunther.
Yeah.
But regardless, though, I'm happy to have Seth back. Gunther looks really strong, and I think Gunther will eventually cash in, like I mentioned early in the pod, to a favor with Paul Heyman. That could be the Brock match, but we'll see when we get there. But regardless, happy to see my boy back.
In the meantime, looks like we're getting, so there's a couple things on Raw that happen to a lesser extent. Looks like we're getting, LA Knight kind of puffing out his chest to the big Gunther.
Don't like that move for him. Don't like that move for him.
Gotta retire.
No.
But yeah, so like LA Knight, I see. So that's the direction we're going with LA Knight and Gunther, at least for the time being. But more consequential is we got the vision of Paul Heyman, Logan Paul, and Austin Theory out there. Paul Heyman took a second to acknowledge the retirement, or at least potential retirement, of Brock Lesnar. Or they're definitely, at this point, they're selling it. We'll see what happens, like story-wise, but like selling it wise, the retirement of Brock Lesnar.
Heyman burying production about not putting Brock in the then compared to or not putting Brock in the forever in the opening promo package, like inferring that they should have took the time out of their busy schedule throughout this whole weekend to change the opening video package to acknowledge Brock's retirement. You egotistical D-bag Paul Heyman, you freaking, that was so funny though.
He gave one last Brock Lesnar.
He's so good at conveying emotion. Like the fact that how sad I felt about that was a lot to do with Paul's reaction to it, which these guys have history for Brock's entire 24-year career. So.
And then we had, which I like this transition. It was a transition into not the exact pass the torch, but another monster beast sort of guy. Braun Breaker got introduced and gets on the mic. Loved the leather jacket. Calls out Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins slides in. Another, which he loved. He loves hitting people in the back with chairs, especially three guys when they're standing in the ring. Whacked, or I guess a Sheila would be too, but whacked Braun Breaker in the back. Caught him in the back of the head.
Yes, brutal.
Left a big gash. So it added to the badassness, and it visually it looked fucking sick.
Yes.
But also he fucking got him in the back of the head, which you'd rather that not happen.
Receipt might be coming.
And then Braun takes out Seth as Braun's all bloodied up. And yeah, you're right. This is kind of the feud going forward. We're finally getting a full-blown Seth versus Braun Breaker. Who disrupted the vision, and Braun Breaker was the one to turn on Seth, and who's the mastermind. I'm looking forward to this. I don't know if I hope it doesn't conclude at Backlash. I would be curious if this is the match at Backlash. But good stuff going forward. I'm invested.
I absolutely agree.
All right, we have a few more matches before the close of the show. We have the women's tag fatal 4-way match with Paige taking Nikki Bella's spot. Nikki and Brie came out, Nikki on the crutch, and pretty just like wasting no time. Just like, here's my replacement. Boom, Paige back. I thought she looked great. The match was solid. It was a lot of fun, a lot of just like chaos, and everyone kind of got their stuff in. I love the standoff of Paige and Charlotte. I thought that was a sick moment.
You think you're special.
And then we got Paige and Brie pick up the win, which was like, I guess unexpected and not unexpected, because like on the one hand, it is the big return, and you have the big return get the titles. But I also really looked at like it also wouldn't have been crazy for like, you know, a Paige to it was a multi-woman tag match. Like they could have lost. But I like the decision ultimately. I like Paige and Brie getting the titles. I think it's interesting. I do think Bayley and Lyra maybe deserve them a little more.
Hopefully they get them eventually. But I get the point of like the returning star wins at Mania.
Yep.
It's it's her first match I think in 8 years in the WWE. So it was probably the right decision.
And she liked our reaction on Instagram.
So I'm now big on Paige.
Yeah,
so there's that too. Which we were talking about on stream too. It's like she's sneakily 33 years old.
And so like that's the whole thing is like, wow, Paige is back. Geez, all these old timers. 33 years old can slide right in there with the division.
But it makes actually the most sense that why we kind of assume that she's a bit older, because she started in the WWE, I think, when she was 20 or 21, and then
honestly maybe even 19,
maybe
as
even
crazy
younger.
As that, yeah.
And then she had a debilitating neck injury that sidelined her for many years. So you kind of add years to like in your head about that, because she's like someone with a neck issue and was retired for a bit, went to AEW, then comes back. So you would probably think she might be 40 or something, but nope, she's a spring chicken. She has a lot left to give, a lot left in the tank, as Mark Henry would say. And this match was pretty good. Some of the things I want to focus on. Alexa's gear was a tribute to Bray, which I think is always welcome and nice. Charlotte had among probably the best gear of anyone at WrestleMania. The Irresistible Forces had some like
so sick.
I don't know what the reference was. I took it as Jabberwocky or like Jason Voorhees mask, but like the white.
Apparently it was Demolition. I think.
Yeah. I'm such a fake wrestler. That's hilarious, but really cool. Nonetheless, a lot of big spots, and then I think the right person won. A Rampage, a very cool finisher, and excited to see where we go from here. I'm surprised she wasn't on Raw.
Yeah, she wasn't on Raw. Maybe she's a SmackDown person. I would go to, we kind of already covered, at least like when we were talking about Jacob, but Jacob McIntyre. Jacob versus Drew McIntyre, unsanctioned match. It was solid. It was a good, I think, opener on ESPN. I did love the table spot where Drew pushed Jacob into the table. I thought that was kind of the highlight moment. But for an unsanctioned, like for it being an unsanctioned match, and not that I expected like them to rip each other's heads off, but I don't know. I think it could have been a little more, maybe a little more gruesome, but they used weapons and it was solid. I think the right person won. Jacob, to me, it's a case of like younger guy push the younger guy. Obviously, we see we're going with Jacob anyway now, so I think it worked, and solid match. I had fun.
I think this match is really good. I think part of the issue is like I think it was a very predictable outcome in some ways. I think a lot of people were expecting Jacob.
Not me.
Not
I
you.
had Drew for some reason.
You're a Drew believer, which is fine. I mean, he's a former WWE champion not so long ago, and that's kind of more of a reason why Jacob. It was a big win for Jacob. I will say too, like. Going back to the SmackDown promo before this was like I just don't get the 12 being friends with Jacob Fatu. I don't see that meshing well. But that's just my opinion, whatever. But I thought this was a really cool, brutal, weapon-filled brawl. Really aided to the no rule stipulation. Some of the best parts though, the toolbox where then Drew had the PTSD moment.
I like that.
His feud with Punk. Fatu's double jump moonsault through the table was really good. And the right man won and seemingly now on his way to face the Tribal Chief. So no harm, no foul.
And moving on from that, the last match, I think we got them all at this point. The opener of the Usos and LA Knight versus ishowspeed, Logan Paul, and Austin Theory. An all right match. It was just a wrestling match. Didn't really feel like, to me, deserving of Mania, if I can go on a limb and say that. The highlight was, two things. One, and both these things are ishowspeed, is I thought Speed, and I wanted more from him in the match. Yeah. And he's trained, and he apparently, he's a solid worker. Apparently, he's quick as hell, athletic. Like I thought he looked all right. He put Logan in a headlock and everything. And then obviously the biggest highlight here was after the match with Speed hitting a massive frog splash onto Logan Paul to the outside to the announce table, which is just insane. But yeah, that kind of just the biggest takeaway is like, oh, cool, Speed looked good, which is like isn't the biggest surprise. He's super athletic and he. As we've seen him training other places, I think he had a YouTube video about it. But this is fun. It's an all right opener. I would have preferred Io Asuka, but
yes, I agree with that. I will say the genuine article. You heard it here first, folks. Speed turned on the bad guys during this match, and he saw the light. He saw the good guys. Actually, I should say the good guys kind of recruited him, and then did
they kind of peer pressure him.
Babyface peer pressure into doing the Logan's Paul. Viral moment spot, which I thought I don't say it's lazy or anything like that, but I don't know, maybe do a different viral spot, which is easier said than done, I suppose. But cool highlighting iShowSpeed, definitely for the younger generation of wrestling fans.
Yeah.
And, my nephew was all over it, so and of course my classic joke, iShowFlight. So
there we go.
That,
I think is that it? I mean, there's gotta be
shout out Bianca. That was a cool moment.
God, yeah. Okay, yeah. Real quick, like John Cena, Danhausen, Bianca of it all. Well, some of this was a better moment than others. Danhausen stuff was fine. We'll talk about it. But I'm a Danhausen fan. I think that comes off. I'm a Danhausen fan. Bianca Belair, congratulations to Bianca Belair and Montez Ford, dude. John Cena comes out, which. John Cena, fine host. I think people think more of a host for WrestleMania. The host of WrestleMania, they come out for 2 segments, you do your little thing, and it was what it was. I think it was solid. We got John Cena out there.
I think Cena's trying to get over him being the guy that goes main event. I think he's trying out for next year's WrestleMania too.
I kind of loved it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bianca came out, and which is a massive surprise.
Yep.
Where we were just like, oh my god, is there an announcement? Because obviously she hasn't been wrestling at this point. It's been like a year and a half or something with this unfortunate finger injury, and then announces her pregnancy, which the selfish wrestling fan, it's like, crap, we're not gonna get Bianca Belair in a ring. But then obviously, what a cool moment for her being able to do this at WrestleMania, and John Cena going crazy and freaking out, and then adding one more to the counter. But this is awesome. Again, our congratulations go out to Bianca and Tez, dude. What a cool moment.
Very cool moment, a WrestleMania moment. And yes, selfishly, I was very excited to see Bianca. It also gave me hope that Jade might win too, though, because I think that could be another factor of maybe why Jade lost. Maybe Bianca was supposed to be the WrestleMania opponent way back when. But regardless, congrats to Bianca Belair. Absolutely.
And I'll tell you this, I don't know if this is a weird thing to say, but I've never personally seen a pregnant woman with a 6-pack. Like that's crazy. She had a pregnant belly that still had a 6-pack on it. Unreal.
We've seen Brody Lee Jr. have a match this weekend at the age, I think, of 12 or 14 years old. I think Bianca's kid could maybe have one fresh out the womb.
100%. Which that match, and I'll about to dive into it. So shout out Joey Janela and fucking Brody Lee Jr., dude. I saw a bunch of highlights from that. Shit looked awesome.
Heat Seeker was good, man.
And then, I don't really need to spend too much time on the Danhausen stuff. Here's what I liked about it. I liked that they put that in the quote-unquote dead spot instead of, which granted, at the time, the perception was that maybe Jade and Rhea were in the dead spot, which the crowd was solid for that one, and then the real dead spot you got given to the Danhausen silly stuff, and then you get the main event, which, in the moment, the crowd doesn't know that that's going to happen, but, for what it's worth, I like that.
Let the main event breathe.
Let the main event breathe. It gave everyone the break that they needed. It was funny enough. I think at that point, I think it worked as the dead spot for me because I'm a Danhausen fan. I do think he's very fun. He has been a very overall positive addition to WWE. At this point, I was like, all right, this is the second night here. In total, we're on hour 7 of the whole weekend. Let's just get to the main event. I do think it wasn't the funniest. It was funny. I don't know, the micro wrestlers, as they might call them. I think.
Well, Michael Cole has the M word pass.
I guess Michael Cole did say he could say it. And then it was fun enough. John Cena loved it. He was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, I'm someone that's been on here saying that I find Danhausen more amusing than funny. And like the thing is too, like I think our reaction video has some people like, "Oh, you guys have no personality. You guys don't.
You guys have fun. Come on, have fun."
Like I gave a few chuckles out there, but like it takes a lot for me to go ha 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 laugh like emotionally. So like I don't know. Like I thought it was an okay segment. I guess for my reaction, some people assumed that I just like hated it, but like
that's exactly what it was. It was just
amusing.
like, okay,
yeah, it was what it was. I'm happy for Danhausen having a WrestleMania moment with the GOAT John Cena. So now Danhausen's the GOAT apparently.
I'll tell you what did get me is him throwing down the smoke, and obviously they're in an arena, so you can't do the lights off really, or it to be effective. So he just did the smoke, lights stayed on, and he just like ran away and went under the ring. That part got me.
Oh, and then too, though, I will say I've never found the Miz balls joke to ever be funny. Not one time have I ever laughed at the Miz having tiny balls to be funny. And yeah, so that they mixed that type of comedy too in here. So I don't know.
I thought we were getting like an impromptu little like Cena graps or something.
He's very holding to the vest that he won't get physical.
It. Well, I think again, correct me if I'm wrong again, but like, it feels like the end. I'm sure we missed something. Like, I'm like,
oh yeah,
Joe Hendry got announced. He's gonna be on SmackDown. So, or no, sorry, next week's Raw. I think is what it was.
A concert.
So that's basically the Joe Hendry call up. A lot of people are speculating for SmackDown, maybe a JC Jane call up, and maybe there was someone else, JC Jane and
Kalani, maybe.
That wasn't the name I heard, but like very well possible. I forget who it was. Doesn't matter. All right, folks.
Ricky Saints?
Yes, that's the name. That was the name. Which I could see that. Big NXT tonight, too.
Big NXT tonight.
Also, I mean, like, Jesus Christ. Darby Allin, brother. Darby Allin, new AEW champion, squashing MJF. I was entertained. I like it. I am a day one AEW person. Well, as you are too. You said you were early on AEW
big
too.
Time, yeah.
I think personally this is earned for Darby Allin. I love that the AEW original got it. I do also think it's going to be a short reign. Double or Nothing is coming up in New York. I think that's going to be the rematch, and I think a cool moment. And what I will say is, I often have my 2 cents about business talk. I do think not that I think Darby Allin winning the title was a big take away the spotlight from WrestleMania. I don't think that's what it did. I don't think that's what the intention was. I do just think a very smart move to have a headline-grabbing thing to happen during the week where the most eyes are on the pro wrestling industry ever, for the whole year. So, like, but yeah, I mentioned tomorrow night we have Darby Allin versus Ciampa for the title, which, like, I guess say what you will about, like, Ciampa all of a sudden getting a title match out of nowhere, but, like, graps-wise, it'll be a insane match. But yeah, how do you feel about I know we're kind of we keep on saying we're at the end, but yeah, how do you feel about your boy dropping the title to the Darbster? And
then emphasize on my boy too, because I have two kind of headspaces, mindsets towards the crowning of Darby Allin as a new AEW champion. And I'll start with the positives first, where it's like, yes, totally agree with you. Darby Allin, of people that deserve it, it's Darby Allin. Yeah. He has sacrificed his body for this company, and in many ways, he's very much over with the crowd. And what I really like about it is the callback, is the history of the headlock takeover. And, and that's been a thing of contention with MJF and Darby for the whole time.
I saw even like there was a clip on the Indies where MJF I thought it was on like a 1 or 2 time AEW thing. Like on the Indies, he did it. Prior even to the 4 Pillars match, he did it. Then obviously in the 4 Pillars match, he did it. Yeah.
So as a massive MJF fan, it is kind of like interesting where I'm like, my boy lost the world title, but like it is pretty cool for the story to be said. And this did happen on a Dynamite, but also too, like, there is part of me that kind of goes like, I am of the opinion that Darby Allin climbing Mount Everest, he was supposed to be, in my opinion, he was supposed to beat Moxley for the world title, and he decided to go climb Mount Everest, and that's fine, because life experiences, you only got one, do what you want. But to me, he kind of foregoed his opportunity a bit to have that insane moment. And then also too, like, I am someone of a sizist, and my world champion should be the big, strong guy wrestling, but there is something to be said about Darby Allin and his sacrifices and contribution to the business, and he is a good in-ring wrestler. He's not just a spot monkey or whatever. And the move to do it, I think, too, it does get people talking. It is interesting, and someone that grew up in the Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression era, and seeing the world title, be able to bounce around through superstar to superstar is pretty cool. And then on the negative side of things, like you just had MJF beat Kenny Omega in an all-timer match. He did kick out of the Angel. It does count. And then he also, he's coming off the rails of beating Hangman in a death match and having all these banger matches. And then for him to get essentially squashed does hurt. But again, we're telling a story here, folks, and it's gonna be. They're going to have another match, too. And the MJF already doing the great shtick of like, oh, I was robbed and cheating should not be allowed. And the irony of that. So
I like the story of, because like, you're right. I think that's part of the story where like MJF fucking beat Hangman in the death match. Then, the kicked out of the one-winged angel.
He wasn't expecting to have the match, too.
That's the thing. He wasn't expecting to have the match. He's coming off of the match with Kenny, so like, you can assume it's still a little banged up.
Oh, yeah.
And I like the idea of like, at this point, Max is so like, in his head, he's like, I've surpassed Darby Allin by 1,000,000. Like, I don't even need to stretch for this match. Like, I'm gonna beat this guy. And I think it was a story of just like, I just beat Kenny and Hangman. I'm untouchable. This little pipsqueak can't touch me. And Darby got the best of him. And also, yes, it was a squash, but also took Scorpion Death Drop, 4 coffin drops, and a low blow to really send it home. But again, like I think I like that storytelling of like, and that idea that like, it's not that, it's like MJF didn't expect it, and he was underestimating Darby Allin so much. But again,
shocking moment.
I do expect MJF to get it back at Double or Nothing. I'm curious if we're just, I guess we're just going to a straight up rematch probably at Double or Nothing is probably what the story is being told.
He's owed one, man. Absolutely.
But okay, I think that's.
And you're going to Double or Nothing, right?
Yes, sir.
That's going to be exciting.
Yes, I am. And I think already announced is Okada versus Takeshita at Double or Nothing. Ooh,
and too, MJF might kill the man, literally. He might
Darby,
he might bring a gun. Like, he might have to wear a bulletproof vest, maybe, man.
Well, I think that's the actual end. I'm not really sure where we ended at time wise, but
do you want to end with giving our grades?
Well, I was more so wrestler match of the week.
Okay,
but I don't have grades.
Okay,
you can go ahead and give your grades. I don't necessarily have.
So I just want to quickly throw them out. I mean, overall for night one, I gave it a B. And
wow,
I think match quality was a C+, surprises B, show length.
I see. Okay.
Show length A-, entrances A, crowd and commentary, which like again I was on stream, so that's kind of the thing. I gave it a C- from like the little I heard, plus of like some of the discussion I've kind of seen around the event. The main event to me was an A-. I really, really, really liked the main event. I think it was probably my second or third favorite match of the weekend. So overall, I gave it a B. Night 2, match quality an A. Surprises D-. There wasn't many surprises, unfortunately. Show length A-. So even so, the demon should have been a surprise.
And too, like the which like I wasn't complaining, so it was a Sunday night, and I some work to do afterward. But like I think night 2 of WrestleMania was like basically a whole hour shorter than night 2. And I think it was like 3.5 hours to night 1's 4.5 hours or some shit.
And I do have your show length another A- because I do like a shorter wrestling show, especially with already having to, experience night 1. So like that's another thing of like I do look at WrestleMania together as one whole, and I would get to my final overall grade afterwards. But entrances for night 1 A. Crowd and commentary again. I was on streams, but kind of C, kind of a not the strongest crowd. And the main event an A+. So that overall for night 2, I give it an A. So overall A for night 2. Overall,
this sounds
B.
like it puts you up there with an all-timer Mania.
I say so. Overall A for night 2, and then overall B for night 1. I think averages out to a B+. I would say maybe an A-. So
yeah, I guess so, right?
So I think I eventually will do the content creator rite of passage of ranking every WrestleMania video. And I think this will end up like maybe 16, 15, 14, because honestly, a lot of WrestleManias do stink. But like the top 10 are probably not ever moving. Or maybe not so, but I thought this could have perhaps snuck in there. But I'm going to be realistic and say I'll watch it again, but I really think it might be 15, 14 all-time WrestleMania. Regardless, though, a B+ WrestleMania.
You really think WWE is watching this deep into the episode?
I think so. I was going to make a clipping joke, but never mind.
Coming off of your grades, I'm going to sound a little more guess a little more pessimistic.
You hated night one.
I really didn't like. I hated night one up until the main event. But again, the big buy. I had fun. The big bias is like being on stream.
Yes.
And this is our like busiest work weekend of the like. This was insane.
Beers, chat. Yeah.
Making content and posting stuff, whatever. I would give night one. The main event helped. The main event really helped. And surprises like Paige return, like that was sick. I'd be in the C's on night one. Night two though, I'd be closer to a B plus or an A.
Cool.
Probably an A minus for night one.
And again, like some of the worst issues of Mania are stuff I didn't really get to experience because of the stream. Like I think the ads are a big thing, and that has to do with the soullessness or whatever. And there are parts of like I wish there were more video packages too. I really do. I wish there were more video packages.
Yeah, that's a good point
and
too.
That in the build too, I think aids to the fact that like some points during the weekend, I'm like, no, this doesn't really feel like WrestleMania. But overall, I thought it was a very solid show, both of them.
All right. Well, we'll officially. We've been trying to end the show for like for a while. Final wrestler / match of the week. A lot to choose from.
I mean, match of the week. You want to do it together?
Yes.
CM Punk Roman Reigns.
I see ladder match.
You're doing it.
I loved it.
We're different. Okay, that's fine. We can have different opinions.
Again, I do think. Punk Roman was the best match of the weekend, but I'm going real personal because I also like, which I could even just pick. I could pick Punk Roman as match of the week and then give Ray wrestler of the week.
Sure,
which maybe I might want to do that.
I mean, I could easily go Jade Rhea just for how proud I am of Jade, but I'm going Punk Reigns. That was special.
Because who would be my maybe I'm backtracking because now I'm thinking who my wrestler of the week, and there's a lot to choose from. But now I'm thinking who my wrestler of the week would be. All right, maybe I do want to do match of the week, Punk Roman, and then wrestler of the week, Rey Mysterio. Cool. For me, I'm gonna go Rey because I think I can't talk enough about his performance in that. Whatever. Who's your wrestler of the week?
Adrenaline in my soul, working Cody Rhodes. I mean, the eyeball man. He was the underdog heading into it. By I can't
believe you've been holding that title this whole time.
As a champion should, man. Just like Cody Rhodes. I'm the golden boy of Stache Club Wrestling. That's another nickname added to the moniker list. But yeah, I think Cody Rhodes is a tremendous wrestler. Entrance fandom is so hard to do what he does as a babyface.
It's what we do.
It's what we do. I think Logan Paul said that too.
Did
last
he?
night. Yeah.
I missed it.
He should add that to his to his arsenal for sure.
Folks, that's the actual end. We appreciate you being here. I believe at this point now we covered everything. Head over to patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling. We're chatting a little more. I'm sure there's more Mania chat and more loosey-goosey chat. We got a bunch of questions over there. I'm excited to dive in. Lasting, thank you everyone again for a successful week, and a successful weekend. The streams popped off. Streams were great. Like I said, we were posting a bunch of stuff, and it was very, very fun. Couldn't do it without you. Couldn't do what we do without you. Jimmy, any lasting words before we get out of here for the conclusion of our post WrestleMania 42 pod?
Well, I know you're worried about this episode being too long, but right now Stephanie McMahon is still finishing her Hall of Fame speech, I think, so we're good.
Yeah, we didn't cover it, yeah. I don't watch the Hall of Fame. So I don't really.
No, that was more of a Dennis Rodman shot than Stephanie McMahon. It was a good ceremony. But regardless, man, I just want to say thank you so much to the Stache Club faithful. Thank you for having me during this weekend.
Thanks for being here.
It's WrestleMania, man. And I did go live for Monday Night Raw yesterday, and I did commit. I'm going to be doing Raw live streams throughout the year. So join me on Monday Night Raw if you want to chat during Raws.
With that said, folks, head over to patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling. We'll plug that one more time, and we'll actually see if there's anyone still here that didn't turn it off yet after we said goodbye 18 times. We'll see you next time. See you next week. See you all week. Peace.
Stay curious.
Yesterday, I was at the Boston Marathon.
You run it?
I averaging a 7-minute mile, brother. No. What was it? Superhero draft. Oh, yeah, I did want to do this.
I will say, though, I will be here for any of the clips that Cindy Sweeney are in, because they end up on Twitter anyway, and they usually will catch my attention. So,
how much do you guys think that billionaire paid to sit at the commentary desk with Cole and Wade Barrett?
I think the number was $70K.